Inspection Committee. Sir has won several awards, prizes, and academic achievements. Sir is awarded International Distinguished Education Excellence Award 2021 India in the Global Annual Education and Research Summit 2021. Awarded Academic Excellence Award 2021 RED Research Educational Talks, Delhi International Headquarters at Vijayawada, Andhra Pradesh. Awarded by the Cape Cameroon Publishers Environmentalist Award 2020 by Agriculture and Environmental Technology Development Society. Awarded UGITS Excellence Award 2019 by Union of Geographic Information Technology Best Environmental Assistant Award 2019. Excellence in Teaching and Research Award 2018 by Asian Management Economic Commerce Association, Environment and Social Welfare Society, Khajuraho, India. Lifetime Achievement Award 2017 by Lions Club of Madras, Marina Beach. Best Achiever Award 2017. Construction Industry Award 2016. AIM Kalam Award 2017. Tamil Nadu Tourism Award 2016. Best Medical and Ecotourism Promoter Dr. S. Radhakrishnan Education Excellence Award. Best Professor Award. Green Thinkers Outstanding Researcher Award. Environmentalist of the Year 2015 Award. Teacher Excellence Award 2015.
Hello.
And many more.
Yes.
In addition, sir has published and presented 50 papers in national and international. Each sir has acted as advisor for the Government Polytechnic for Women for the preparation of course material in environmental law under Nucleus Cell program sponsored by AICTE, Ministry of Human Resource Development, Government of India. Also prepared the course volume for the short-term training program of 1 week duration conducted in my department in the subject area environmental law, legal procedure in enforcement, including consent drafting for the benefit of advocates, academicians, and administration, is sponsored by the Central Pollution Control Board. Written a chapter with Mr. T.V. Lakshmanan, Advocate, Madras High Court, Chennai, titled Adequacy of National Law for Wetland in India, Critical Examination, co-authored with Dr. Manikram and Dr. Kamsali Nagaraj, written a topic titled Observational Need for Climate Change Studies and Role of Satellites and Boundary Layer Observation using MB. LM sir has published an article in the 7th Go Green Summit 2021 organized by the International Society of Environmental Relationship and Sustainability, Manila. Sir has also organized
I think that
and seminars for
we can start that lecture. I think so.
Please stop.
Yeah, I think that sorry for that interruption, because already 10 minutes delayed. Shall we start that lecture?
Yes, it starts.
And moreover, that video, I don't think that it is not coming properly. I have adjusted my computer also. It is not coming, that video. Anyhow, I will just, without wasting of the time, that is already the 10 minutes have gone. Without wasting of the time, I would like to start my talk. Is it okay? My audio is okay?
Yes, sir, you are audible to us.
Okay. Then participants, you are able to hear my voice? I think that nearly 50 participants are there.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay.
Yes,
yeah. Okay. So very good morning to everyone. At the outset, I would like to.
Screen is not visible, sir. Sir, your screen is not visible.
Yeah, that's what I am also seeing, that my screen is not so visible. I have adjusted several things here, but I don't know.
Sir, sir, there is no need of the camera. You just share your screen and it will be visible for us.
Camera, how to switch it off? Video, you can just.
Sir, you stop your video and share your screen. Your voice is audible to us.
Oh, okay. I will stop the video. I stopped that video. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So can I start, sir? With your permission, I am starting it without wasting of the time. And I could able to see nearly 56 participants are there. So very good morning to everyone. At the outset, I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to the professor and head of the Department of Environmental Science for having extended this invitation for delivering that lecture on the topic, namely that environmental legislations. And secondly, I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to the HRDC, Human Resources Development Center, for in the process of conducting this program, invited as one of the resource person to give a lecture on the topic of environmental legislations. So now I will start my lecture on this one. So for the purpose of, and I know that most of them will not be the lawyers. Most of them would not have the background of law also. I hope so. I hope that most of them would not have the law background. Most of them will have the background of environmental science. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. And moreover,
Yes,
if I am very fast means you just tell me, and if my pronunciation is not proper, you also tell me, because you are all throughout that India, and every state will have its own glamour and flavor of a pronouncement. So my pronouncement will have more flavor of the Tamil language. So in that case, if you are unable to decode my language or unable to follow the thing, then you are most welcome to immediately stop. Then you tell me, sir, you go a little bit slow, or your voice is not clear, or your, what is this one, your language is not so clear for us. Then I will try to change it, and I will try to adopt it as much as possible. Okay?
Yes, sir. It's okay, sir.
If any doubt, questions, clarifications are there, you
sir,
can
your
just...
pronunciation is very clear in English, sir. We are
Okay,
getting.
very
Sir,
good.
but you are not visible.
Huh?
You are not visible. Your screen is not visible.
Yeah, that's what he was said, that there is something problem. That's why they said you stop that video and start only that audio. In that instruction only, I stopped my video.
Okay.
In fact, I am also very much interested to put the video. Otherwise, you may be thinking a very old man or very young person like that. And so for that reason, I am also interested in putting my video. But
I'm
unfortunately,
very
Sir,
curious, sir.
No
they
problem,
told
sir.
me to switch
Please
off that
proceed.
video so that you can get more audio effect. Anyhow, in the course of my talk, I will simply show my face. Don't worry at all. Okay, now any doubt, questions, clarifications are there, means you can immediately ask me without any problem. You can just say, stop the thing, sir. We will like to clarify for the same. And I will stop it, and I will immediately clarify it, because the subject happened to be a new subject for you. Okay. Coming back to that, and law subject has its own glamour and flavor. So before going into detail about that, environmental legislations, I just wanted to make it, I wanted to appetize you, or I just wanted to sensitize you the importance of studying the law. See, law subject has got its own glamour and flavor. Suppose you have studied your chemical engineering or environmental engineering or chemistry or any subject. If you are going for any interview, you have been asked some questions in your own subject area. If you are unable to answer that particular question, you can put n number of that excuses, like, sir, this subject has not been taught, or this subject I have left it as a in the choice, or I have forgotten the subject. Like that, you can get yourself excused by giving so many reasons. But on the other hand, with reference to the law subject, even though you have not studied that law both formally and informally, if you have done any offense in the eyes of the law, it is construed to be an offense, then you cannot plead before the court of law. Sir, this particular act is construed to be an offense. Has nobody taught to me, either formally or informally? So if I put it in a very brief way, means you cannot escape it, that ignorance of law is no excuse. You cannot plead yourself that I don't know that law, sir, or for that reason only I have committed this act. I don't know, this act is construed to be an offense in the eyes of that law, and I have not been taught either formally or informally. So the law presumes that you know that law. Ignorance of law is no excuse. So from this, I can able to say that we are all know that law. Only thing, I am just sensitizing you. Number two, but chemical engineering, yes, sir.
Sir, is there's a PPT on your screen? The screen is not visible to us. Your
Yeah,
voice is clear.
that is what I told them. Then PPT, I will come in another half an hour after giving a good amount of an introduction. I will put that PPT. Okay,
Okay, sir.
because
Okay.
my thing wanted to be a more lecture. Okay, PPT I can just put it and I can just talk. It means that will be a monotonous for you. I wanted to talk, I wanted to give as much information as possible and sensitize you and appetize you in that field of environmental legislations. Number two, that regarding that video, I don't know whether that video is not coming properly. That's why I have been told that, sir, kindly stop your video. So for that reason only I have stopped. So it is coming a very dark one. I don't know whether the problem in my camera or whether there is a problem in the online or whether there is a problem on your side. But anyhow, this subject is an audio. I mean, this subject is more audio. So as much as possible, I will try to good as many information as possible. Okay, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, second one, that in our part of that life, wherever we go, we are governed by the law. Whether it is in
So now you were visible to us. You slightly move your camera.
Move your camera upside, nothing. Then
Yes,
down.
yes.
You are able to see me?
Partially.
Even in my
No, sir, no, sir.
I don't know whether which problem it is there. So half of the thing it is a dark in color.
Yes, now. Yes, sir. It's okay now.
Okay, I'm not able to see my face.
But we can see now.
I see. So see in that select the camera, integrated camera, adjust background and effects, choose a video filter, choose avatar video settings. Which one I have to put, integrated camera or switch off that integrated? So these are all the problems we are encountering when you are delivering that lecture on online. But anyhow, we have to adjust ourselves. When you are able to see my face, it is okay. I am seeing my face every time. Okay, let us not waste our time. And I wanted to give as much information as possible. Number two, that is the law subject. You are that any part of our life, even before the birth and after the death, you are governed by that law. How, sir, before the birth? Before the birth, the child has got that right not to find out what sex it belongs. So finding out the sex of the child is construed to be an offense. Even after the death also, a person has to be buried or burnt in a most dignified way. And even the person is not existing physically, no one has got a right to talk abusing. Anyone who has got interested on that person can file a case on that. If any person abuses that person who is not physically fit, even though that physically present, still that his right is existing in order to implement or in order to enforce his right. Anyone who is interested on that particular individual can approach the court and establish his right. From this, we can able to understand that even before the birth, law governs. Even after the death also, law governs. And apart from that, every part of that life, when you go inside the bus or when you enter the auto, you are entering somewhat a contract. And even for attending this program also, we are governed legally. You are supposed to attend. I am supposed to deliver that lecture. And your recording is also one of the protocol. Like that, we are in every part of our life, we are governed one way or rather by the law. And secondly, when there is a law, then only be an order in our society. For that reason only we are saying law and order. That is, when the law is there, then only the order will come. If there is no law, there will not be any order. So this is what the importance of the studying of the law subject. If the law presumes you know that law, advising you. Now coming back to that environmental law. So for the purpose of an effective environmental management, I am of that opinion that 3 E's are very, very essential. What are those 3 E's if I say means? Number 1, education E. Education E in the sense that is creating an awareness with the people. Awareness in the sense I have seen at several places people who are even in the posh localities or even the people who are having strings of degrees and the diplomas. If you just test their knowledge with reference to that environment means it will be a very poor also. To quote 1 or 2 examples, if I say means, see that segregation of that waste. You have got the different types of that waste and each waste has its own characteristics also. Say take for example, municipal solid waste, biomedical waste, hazardous waste, like that, solid waste, liquid waste, gaseous waste. I don't want to go in detail because you all the environmental science and engineering students, you know better than me. So, but in the now only for the last 5 years, we people started segregating mostly in the urban areas. So for that, what is a bio in the municipal solid waste? What are all the waste which are considered to be the biodegradable? What are all the waste which is considered to be the non-biodegradable? Segregation of that waste, unless otherwise the people have been taught that these waste have to be segregated because of the following reasons. Otherwise, that all the waste are put it in the same bin and everything is going in the same way, and most of the time it may not be treated. It will be dumped in the solid waste site also. And sometimes even in the posh localities, I have seen people that sanitary napkins, then you got what is this one, diapers, all these things they are mixing along with the municipal solid waste and just disposing along with that, along with the solid waste. You know very well, these are the waste which are all considered as a biomedical waste. The definition of that biomedical waste, anything which come out of our body, and whether it is the blood, pus or hair or nail or anything, that is a biomedical waste. And that biomedical waste should not be mixed along with the municipal solid waste. But if the people have not been taught properly what they are doing, they are mixing the waste along with that. With the result, you just see most of the time it is just dumped there. You just see what is the problem which is being encountered, the person who is handling that waste, number 1. Number 2, if you are residing on the windward direction, then this waste will be harboring millions and millions of the bacteria, and that will be transmitted through the air, and you will be you will have several infectious diseases also. So now people to be educated for this purpose only, that basic environmental science and engineering, and realizing the importance of imparting this environmental education. Even the Supreme Court in one of the judgment made it mandatory to introduce one subject compulsorily in the academic curriculum of the undergraduate program, irrespective of what branch a student is studying it. They introduced one subject, and that syllabus is common throughout the length and breadth of the country, namely this environmental science or the environmental science and engineering. Probably we teachers, you may be knowing better than me that in every university this subject is being taught to the undergraduate program, irrespective of what branch a student is studying it. Here also I can say, because of the intervention of the court only, now the court has given the directions to the University Grants Commission to introduce one special subject compulsorily in the academic curriculum of the undergraduate program, environmental science, in order to sensitize, in order to appetize, in order to create an awareness with the younger generation. Now you will be knowing the importance of imparting this environmental education. Number 2, realizing this importance only, even the government of India as well as the state governments are funding the various organizations also to conduct a special type of the programs, one for the administrators or academicians or adjudicators, and even for the advocates also. And these programs are sometimes specialized capsular programs also. Take for example, in Tamil Nadu, the Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board has got a special wing, namely this environmental education wing, and that is headed by one executive engineer, and they are conducting regular programs of 3 days duration, 4 days duration, especially the capsular type of the program like a biomedical waste. It is meant only for the hospital people and the corporation people, and hazardous waste management for the industrial people, municipal solid waste for the municipalities and the corporation, coastal regulation zone notification, that about that thing they are imparting to the revenue officials. Like that, the Pollution Control Board, as well as that educational institutions like my university, Anna University, which is being funded by both the government, the central government and state government, organizing the various type of the programs in order to educate the people, creating an awareness in the environmental education. So for a good, effective environmental management, education is very important. Number 2, engineering. The second E is the engineering. Now, I don't want to say the importance of engineering, because whatever the scientific principles integrated with the engineering design and developing a technology, whether it is the water treatment or wastewater treatment or hazardous waste treatment, anything and everything, technology is very, very important. So engineering and technology are very, very important, and they play an excellent amount of the role in the effective environmental management. Okay. Now the third E, which is the most important one, which is not given much importance, or it is not given the due status as it is required, namely the enforcement. The third E is the enforcement. And before proceeding to the third E, I just wanted to give an introduction about the fourth E. What is that fourth E means? That is the economics. Now, this domain is at present for the last 5 years integrated along with the other domains, and that is also playing a good amount of the role. Now, anything previously environment is considered to be a free commodity. Now it is slowly being priced also. And priced in the sense it is highly debatable in a country like ours whether it is to be saleable, whether it is to be priced, or because whether the social justice or the economic justice, which one is the more top priority. Then if you look at it in that angle, this particular one is highly a debatable one. So I don't want to enter into that controversial thing of integration of economics along with the enforcement regime, enforcement domain, whether it will be creating a more impact on positively or whether it will be creating negative impact in a society like ours, in a democratic setup like ours. Okay, now because you see that you can able to see that water, now that water is available in the bottled water, and what is this one? When you are going to any place, you are also paying the money for the tourism and other things. Why? Already, and sometimes even for the purpose of maintaining that particular lake or a particular seashore area, they started collecting that money. And what is that? You may ask the question that already we are paying the tax. Why should we pay extra for this one? And so that will be a debatable one. And in fact, for the solid waste management also, in addition to paying the tax, we are paying the charges also, because they wanted to integrate this economics. And one way it is a good, people pay the money and getting the good means they will have value the goods. If anything which are available at the free of cost means that will not be given the due respect as it is required for that matter. Okay, now we will go for the enforcement. Now, for the purpose of an enforcement, we need good legislations. Okay, legislations in the sense law. Okay, now for the purpose of enacting these legislations, we require a good constitution for that, right? Now, whether we are having in our country, whether we are having the good amount of legislations in India, Yes, I can say that we are having both the environmental law as well as the environmental laws. Sir, what is the difference between the environmental laws and the environmental laws? The environmental laws are, what is that? With the definite article of they are the legislations which are enacted especially for the purpose of environmental protection. Whereas the other environmental laws are incidentally connected with the environment to protect the environment or for a good, effective environmental management. Okay, sir. What are those environmental legislations? You just see that Factories Act. Factories Act, in that Factory Act, how the factory's premises must be kept clean, whitewashing, lighting, what is this one? The maintaining the temperature and maintaining how the main floor has to be maintained. Then safety aspects. Then hygienic aspects. Apart from that, what are all the waste which you are generating in the canteen, in the what is this one, in the process industry, in the processing factor of that industry, and both the waste should not be mixed. Like that, several conditions have been clearly mentioned in the Factories Act. Don't you not think that these conditions are indirectly for the purpose of environmental protection only, without using the word environmental, that they are incidentally connected with the environmental protection? Similarly, Sarais Act, Fisheries Act. You just see the Fisheries Act. Fishes should not be caught during the juvenile season. And the fishes, you should not catch the fishes by using the explosive materials. All these things, why they have mentioned in the Fisheries Act? Because that fish population is essential in order to maintain that good ecosystem. And number two, when you use the explosive materials, what will happen? That water will also get polluted, and that will affect the other ecosystem also. So without mentioning the word environmental protection, the Fisheries Act also giving the due importance of environmental protection. You just see the Police Act. In the Police Act, using of the drums and other things in the public area is totally banned or prevented. Now, if you could able to see the spirit behind that one, means that is, this is creating a good amount of a noise pollution, and the noise will create the nuisance and annoyance for that. And in fact, noise will be having other physical and physiological effects, both on the human being as well as on the other living things like our domesticated animals, this and that. Now, without using what is that noise pollution, but the Police Act clearly prevents the people in using this type of the drums and other things in the public area. So can't you not say that this is also in a way protecting our environment? My dear participants, you are able to hear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are audible to us.
Very good.
Yes, sir.
Very good, very good. So don't you not think that this is also, what is this one? In a way, it is giving the due importance for that environmental protection, because noise pollution is also one of the pollution. I don't want to say, because you are all environmental science teachers. Okay, like that, Sarais Act, Fisheries Act, Police Act, then Factories Act. There are so many acts which are giving a lot of importance without mentioning the word environment. They are stressing the importance of protecting the environment. Okay, sir. Now coming back to the environmental legislations. What is the environmental legislation? The means the definite article, specially meant. That is, these legislations are enacted especially for the protection of environment. What those legislations are only we are going to study. What are those legislations, or what are those acts? Number one, Water Act. Number two, Air Act. Number three, Environmental Protection Act. Number four, Public Liability Insurance Act. Number five, National Green Tribunal Act. So like that, We are having PP is not visible. I am not putting any PP, sir. No video, sir. No video is not my thing, sir. And you have to ask only those people because I am switching on that video. PPT, see, this PPT has become a very infectious one. The moment when I start that PPT, then I will be reading only. Don't worry, to satisfy you that DR, I will put the PPT. Don't worry. Okay. And you asked that, and what is this one? So you are listening to my lecture, right? Now coming back to the next one. What is this one? Yes, the environmental, these major 5 acts. These acts have been enacted in the parliament. So once the parliament has enacted this legislation, means it has got the jurisdiction throughout the India. For example, if an act is being enacted by the state, now if you read the constitution, you are having certain subjects which are state subjects, certain subjects are central subjects, certain subjects are concurrent list. So whatever that list which is in the central list, central only is empowered to enact the legislations. One such thing, environment. So environment is coming under the central list. So central only has, parliament is only empowered to enact that legislations. And if you could be able to see what are all the environmental legislations or the acts which are enacted only by our parliament, since the parliament has enacted, it has got the jurisdiction throughout the India. If the state subject means state can enact that legislations. If it is a concurrent list, means both state and central is empowered to enact. But if there is a clash, means central act prevails over the state act. Okay. Now coming back to that central act, all the 5 acts are only the central acts. So it has got the jurisdiction throughout that India. Right. Next one. Whether after this act, now this act is giving certain powers to the executive to enact, to make some rules, regulations, bylaws like that, or even some office memorandum, OM also. These are all considered to be the executive made legislations. Whereas the first one, act, is considered as the parliament made legislation, whereas these type of notifications, bylaws and all considered to be the executive made legislations. So in that executive made legislations, we come across the municipal solid waste management handling rules, biomedical waste management handling rules, hazardous waste management handling rules, coastal regulation zone notification, environmental impact assessment notification, then public hearing notification. Like that, these are all coming under the category of the notifications and rules, regulations, and these are all considered to be the executive made legislations. And executive made legislations means the Ministry of Environment and Forest is empowered under that act, namely that Environmental Protection Act, which gives the power to the executive depending upon the situation, circumstances. It is empowered to to make any rules, regulations and all. But of course, it has to be ratified later on inside the parliament. Now, the purpose is everything cannot be put under that act. So, because parliament may be convened once in 3 months or once in 6 months, like that, you will have hundreds of subjects. So at that time, we cannot be able to discuss in detail, thread by thread. For that reason, when the circumstances are warranting, when the situation is warranting, you cannot wait the parliament, or you cannot ask the president to make any ordinance also. Then there will be a piles of ordinance. Realizing this one only, the act, in one of the sections in the act, it is the power is being delegated to the executive to make any rules, regulations. With that result only, we have made nearly 100 rules and regulations. Apart from that rules and regulations, any clarifications wanted to be there means, then again, the executive can issue some office memorandum that is called as a OIM also. Okay. Now that you are clear that about the legislations. Now, coming back to that, whether these legislations can be enacted inside the parliament, for that, whether we are having the constitutional provisions, that is the most important. So in that case, I can say that we must be very proud to say that our Indian constitution itself is a green constitution. It is an environmental friendly constitution. Though it is not explicitly mentioned in our constitution, but implicitly the spirit of our constitution is more towards the environmental protection. Now you can just see the preamble of the constitution. It very clearly mentioned the justice, political, social, economic, like that. So now that even if you go in detail about the constitution also, state list, central list, concurrent list, then the various schedules, all these things, there is a balance of power, and in that various subjects are there. These subjects are in a way related with the environmental protection. Okay, sir. But explicitly, that is directly, how this environmental protection have been introduced in our constitution means, that is in the year 1976, during the time of emergency, that is 2 articles have been inserted through the 42nd constitutional amendment, namely the article 48A and 51AG into our constitution. And what is that 48A and 51AG? Through the 42nd constitutional amendment. 48A very clearly says it is the duty of the state to protect that environment. Now, it has become a mandatory, it has become the duty of the state to protect our environment, or a duty is given, a compulsory duty has been entrusted on the state. State means it is the government to protect that environment. Okay, sir. Now, it is not the duty of the government alone. Now, you have to take care of your, what is this one? People also. Because without the cooperation of the people, the government cannot do anything and everything. For that, we require the cooperation from the people. For that reason only, under the Article 51AG of the Constitution, it is the duty of the citizens to protect that environment. And again, environment, it is given in the broad way. That is broad in the sense, nothing is specially considered to the environment. Whether it is the grassland ecosystem, whether it is the mountainous ecosystem, whether it is the coastal ecosystem, anything and everything that can be brought, even the social thing also can be brought under the environmental or the ecosystem. So by introducing or by inserting the 2 articles, namely the 48A and 51AG, the government has made the duty of the state to protect that environment and duty of the people to protect that environment. So through the 42nd constitutional amendment. Now, people may ask, the 2, apart from that, there are other articles already available in our constitution, namely protection of our monuments under the article 47, like that it is there. Apart from that, various schedules have also been introduced that I will show in my PPT also in the due course of my talk. Now, a question arises, sir, what is that use, sir? It is only under the directive principles of the state policy, sir, but it is not under the fundamental right of the people. Then in that case, it cannot be, what is this one? Judicially enforceable. Now, for those people, I can say in the later date, the Supreme Court innovatively interpreted our constitution and integrated the 2 articles, namely that 48A, 51AG and Article 21 of the Constitution, right to life, and made it and said it is, that is, the right to life includes providing a clean, healthy environment by the government. So then without that clean and healthy environment, so you cannot lead a not a happy life, but you cannot lead a a decent and dignified life. So for that, every citizen has to live in a decent and dignified life, which is the part of our constitutional right as well as the human right. So for that purpose, you have to provide the minimum environmental thing, namely the good air, good water, and a good environment. So under the right to life includes providing a clean and healthy environment by the government. Okay. Now you read it in the other way. Non-providence of the clean and healthy environment tantamounts the violation of your fundamental right under the Article 21 of our Constitution, namely the right to life. So we all know whenever our fundamental rights are being infringed, you are having another right under the Article 32 and 226 of the Constitution to approach the highest judiciary by way of filing the writ petition and get back that right. Because these rights are construed to be the negative rights, negative, not the positive rights. Negative rights in the sense means already these rights are existing with us. If anyone takes that right, means we are having a right to get back that right. It is not something, a positive right, which is given by the others and it is being taken away. It is the right which is existing with you. If it is taken, you are having another right to get back that right. So these rights are considered as a negative rights. Now you are getting another right to get back that right, and by way of filing the writ petition under the Article 32 and 226, now you can able to understand that environmental rights are one of our fundamental rights. Okay, so up to this, any doubts is there, you please ask me for 1 or 2 minutes. So let me know how far the participants are effectively interacting.
Yes, sir.
Yes, madam. Any doubts, madam?
No, sir.
No, if you ask any doubt, then only I will be knowing that what is this one. You are interacting. Because this is the, in fact, when your coordinator asked to come on that online, I said, sir, online means people will switch on the thing and they may not be much interested. Then no, sir, what to do? This is the thing which is existing. Now I wanted to make it as a lively one. Though you are able to see my face?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But I am not able to see. That is the problem.
And sir, we are fully attentive to you.
Very attentive. Then you just put 1 or 2 questions. Yeah, Sai, why it is called a fundamental right? Because fundamental right means as a human being, irrespective of caste, community, region, religion, as a human being, you are having certain rights. These rights are called fundamental rights. What are those fundamental rights? Means freedom of thought, freedom of liberty, freedom of movement, freedom to practice any religion, and freedom to congregate. And if these rights are taken, you are having one more right to get back that right. Okay, sir? These are all called fundamental rights. As a human being, you are having this right. Freedom of movement, that as an Indian citizen, you are having a freedom to move anywhere in India. But of course, these rights are not absolute rights. Reasonable restrictions can be imposed on these fundamental rights. Freedom of thought, freedom of liberty, freedom of movement, freedom of speech. So then what is this one? Freedom to practice your religion, freedom to propagate your religion, freedom to practice your profession, then freedom to congregate, that is without arms, of course. And these rights are fundamental rights. If these rights are taken away, if there is one more right which is not existing to get back that right, then these fundamental rights will become the dummy rights. For that, you are having another right When these fundamental rights are taken away by the action or inaction of the government, then you are having the fundamental right to get back that right. How to get back that right? By way of filing the writ petition. What is that writ petition? That is, you are filing in the highest judiciary, either in the High Court or the Supreme Court. What are all those writ petitions? You have got the writ of habeas corpus, writ of mandamus, writ of certiorari, writ of prohibition, writ of prohibition, certiorari, mandamus, habeas corpus. So that five writ jurisdictions are there. So as a citizen of India, you are having these fundamental rights. Can anything? Why it is called as a fundamental right? What are the fundamental rights? I hope that I have clarified your doubt. Yes? Anything?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Can I proceed?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Kalpana, Kaldate. Kaldate. Kal means today. Date means date. Okay. Now, because I don't know Hindi, if I am wrong, don't think it otherwise. Okay. Coming back to that next one. This is the, so we are having that the constitutional provisions are available in our thing, environmental protection. Now, coming back to this, in the recent years, this international environment cannot be viewed in an isolated way. Isolated way means, so this is my country, India is my country, Indian environment belongs to me. I have got a full right to use my environment in whatever that way it is possible. Like that, you cannot say, because in the last, some say 20 years, this environment is not viewed in an isolated way or in a nationalistic way. It is viewed in the global way. It is viewed in the international way, with that result that that international community as pressurizing the various countries to follow certain legislations or to enact certain legislations and to follow certain environmental protection measures in their own country. Can you say a few examples for that? You have been hearing for the last 1 week. Even yesterday, I happened to hear. And so in that case, then you tell me anything. That is why it should be viewed in an international way, why it should be that the environment must be considered in the global sense, not in an isolated or in a, what is that? India is a sovereign country. It is my country. I have got the sovereign right to use my environment in whatever that way it is possible. You don't have any right to question the thing like that. You cannot question it as if now, because environment is viewed in a holistic way, in a comprehensive way, in a global way, in an international way. For that, various restrictions have been imposed, even in using your own environment also. Can you quote any 1 or 2 examples? Dr. Pramod Jawal Patil.
Because of sustainable development goal to achieve this.
Very good, very good, very good. Sustainable development. Then?
Because there are the 17 goals, and every goals internationally they want to achieve.
Very good, very good. Then any other thing? Sustainable development. Okay. Then any other thing, madam? Sustainable development goals, which is being dictated by the international community.
Mission goals, sir.
Huh? Yes, sir.
Mission.
Nah? Yes.
Millennium goals, sir.
That is what millennium goals are. What is that sustainable goals? What that madam was saying, that sustainable goals are there are 17 goals are there. It is being dictated by the international community, and India is also a partner for that. And in that one, there are 4 goals which are more related with reference to that environment. So that is what sustainable development she said. And for that, I will give you a good answer in the course of my talk. Anything other than that, with your own knowledge, with your, what is this one, with your theory and practical knowledge, that any other thing which is being compelled by the international community as the domestic thing to make any laws like that. Okay. Now
World Health Organization का human right.
One by one. One girl or one madam was saying that World Health Organization. What is that, madam? Yes, madam. Okay,
Yes.
next. Tell me that World Health Organization, something you said. Okay. Then that other gentleman was saying some other things, sir. Please, sir.
Kyoto Protocol related to climate change.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yes. Kyoto Protocol with reference to the climate change. Wonderful. Right. Very good. Very good. So I'm happy that you are all very attentive one. Now, coming back to
So
this
there's a
one.
motto of one earth, one future. That's
One,
also
which one?
one earth. Climate change पे जो किया गया था, one earth or our future.
Oh, one,
This
yeah,
one is also.
one future. Oh,
Yeah.
one nation, one election. One,
जी जी.
one nation, one ration.
हाँ,
You
one
are
nation.
from Assam?
No. I am from Maharashtra.
Maharashtra. Okay, your pronunciation is more like an Assam. One nation, one ration, one nation, one election. So one nation, one future. Huh?
One
Okay.
earth. One earth.
One earth, one earth. There is no
Yeah,
other
yeah.
earth.
Earth. That's the earth.
Oh, okay. That is what the pronunciation differs. Earth.
Okay, okay, sir. Okay.
Okay, thank you. So now that, of course, that one gentleman was saying, that one girl was saying about the World Health Organization, and one more was saying with reference to sustainable development, one more was saying about the climate change and the protocol, then one is saying about that one earth. So there is no more a second earth. You have to protect this earth like that. So now coming back to the subject, what I would like to say here is that is yes. Now you see that India is a sovereign country, and we have got every right to use our own environment in whatever the possible way. Our constitution is giving that right. But now, even though our constitution is giving so much of right to use our own environment, but there are certain international pressure is mounting that you must use your own environment in this way, or if you are not supposed to use your environment in such a way that is affecting this environment. So like that, there are so many international, what is this one? Pressures are mounting through the various conventions, various protocols, various declarations like that. I don't say it is the pressure, but in the interest of protecting our environment in a global way, and the global community is putting a lot of conditions, but again, whether it is the positive or negative, it is a debatable one. Why I am saying this so means developed countries have developed. Now these developing countries have been put so many restrictions, means then their development will get affected. And for their development, whether the financial help is being extended by the developed country, that is also another question. Then second one, in a pluralistic economy, in a pluralistic society like India, putting a one thing throughout the length and breadth of the country is a little bit a difficult one also. It is not unlike the other countries where there is a one country means there will be mostly one or two languages. Whereas I can say that India is not a country, India is a continent. Why I am saying this so means France means French, Germany means the German. Finland means the Finnish. Whereas in our country, we are having so many languages, so much of culture. And one way we should be proud, in spite of so many languages, so many caste communities, regions, religions, this and that, we all feel the oneness of Indian. That is the one way we have to be proud. But on the other hand, our strength is unity in diversity. Say one person is pronouncing that Maharashtra pronunciation is different from my pronunciation. Earth, you are saying, whereas I cannot be able to decode it. What is that earth? So this is where that putting that one thing, how far it will be an effective one, that is the question mark. Like anyhow, that is a debatable one. Let us not enter into that controversial one. Let me see that. See, with reference to that environment, for the first time at the international level in the 1972, we had that one declaration. What was the declaration? Stockholm Declaration. 1972. And after that 1982 we got the Nairobi Declaration, then 1992 Rio Declarations, like that. And in that Rio Declaration only we have got that our common future, our common earth, like that we have come. Now that second point is, apart from the declarations, we are having several conventions at the international level, several protocols, several what is this one, covenants, several agreements have also been entered between the countries. It may be a bilateral, it may be the trilateral, or it may be the multilateral, or it may be under the umbrella of the United Nations also. And to quote a few, I can say, number one, that is, take for example, that Montreal Convention. Probably you would have heard that Montreal. Montreal is the place at Canada where the convention have took place. So it is called as a Montreal Convention. So Montreal Convention is with reference to the ozone depleting substances. These countries which have signed that particular convention, then they are giving some sort of an assurance to the international body that they will enact a new legislation in consonance with the agreement they have signed. If already a legislation is there, they will be modifying the same in consonance with the agreement we have signed. For Montreal Convention with reference to the ozone depleting. But of course, one rider class is there. It must be ratified inside the parliament. So Montreal Convention with reference to the ozone depleting substances, after it was being ratified, sir, please adjust your camera. Your camera is completely cross. Sir, what can I do, sir? I have completely this thing, but I don't know. Respected sir, please adjust your camera. I have adjusted several times. I don't know how to adjust it. See, I am putting this one and that one. It is coming in the same one only. View profile, mute my audio, stop video, spotlight everyone, view profile. I don't know, because I'm not so familiar. I don't want to do something which will be stopped, means it will be a problem. You tell me how to adjust it, I will do it, sir. Yes. Please adjust your camera. You tell me how to adjust it, I will do the adjustment for. See, I am removing this and that, and nowhere it is coming. View profile, Lenovo. Nowhere it is coming, sir. Sorry. If you can tell me how to adjust it, I will do the thing.
Sir, take it to your left side, sir.
Take it to my left side. Turn to my left side.
Okay.
You are able to see?
Left.
No.
3, 4.
Your right side, sir. Your right side.
Okay.
Huh? Or turning to the other side.
Yes.
Huh?
थोड़ा सा
Thoda?
राइट को और चल.
Right, Hagova. See, right side. To my right. Huh? But anyhow, what to do? Sometimes, because I don't want to take a risk. If it is completely stopped, means then it will be a problem. See, even
Okay, okay.
this
Now,
one
now,
is also
now.
ulta. Ulta. My face is on the right angles. Right angle. I don't know. Choose the avatar, video filter, background effects, integrated camera, video settings. So video settings, original ratio, HD, mirror my video. What is that one? You tell me how to adjust it. I will do it. 25 participants, 45 participants show me as an active speaker when I talk. Even that.
Sir, I think it is not problem with the setup. Something is hiding your camera, sir. I think there should be something physically blocking the vision actually.
No, physically nothing there, sir.
Your laptop.
Laptop. No, sir. That is a laptop also. See, nothing, anything, no, nothing. You see, I am seeing that. But in that case, half is coming, sir.
Yes, yes.
I'm not seeing my face. That is a problem. See, it is in the other side. See? And okay, sir, please continue. That gentleman has given me this. Okay, sir. Let it be like that. We wanted to hear your talk, sir. Though I'm not interested much of seeing your face and all.
Not like that, sir. Not like that.
He has given, okay, sir, continue, sir. That is a good one. What is there to see in your face? You are not a young, energetic.
Yes, sir, please continue, sir.
Okay, so now that next one. So for that one, we have got that international legislation. So take, for example, that ozone depleting substances with the Montreal Convention. So that after it is being ratified inside our parliament, we have enacted a special notification by special way of notification that is a controlling of the ozone depleting substances, using it in the refrigerator and other things. And now in India, we don't use any of the ozone depleting substances in any of the coolant and as well as in the refrigerators. Similarly, the Basel Convention. Basel Convention, India is a signatory for the Basel Conventions. Like that, more than 100 countries are signature for the Basel Convention. And the Basel Convention clearly says that how far the hazardous waste has to be transported and how far the hazardous waste has to be managed and treated. So after signing this agreement, after it is being ratified inside the parliament, we have enacted a special legislation with reference to the hazardous waste management handling rules. So then similarly, Biodiversity Convention. After signaturing the Biodiversity Convention at the international level, then we have, after that it is ratified inside our parliament, we have enacted the special act, namely the Biodiversity Act also. So the Biodiversity Act very clearly says that is that the Biodiversity Act very clearly says how to protect our biodiversity. So now like that, Climate Change Convention. After signing the Climate Change Convention, we have brought the climate change policy also, and very soon we will be enacting certain legislations in order to have that climate change, or in order to in consonance with the Climate Change Convention what we have signed. Now all these things from this, and we can able to gauge, we can able to say that is internationally that in that several legislations have been enacted in Indian level because of the international level pressure which is mounting. And even though India or any country, it is a sovereign country, still environment is viewed in a global sense. So that international pressure is making several role in the national level for the emergence of several environmental related legislations. This is the point I would like to tell you. Okay, now that one person was saying about the sustainable development. Yes, sustainable development in the 1992 in that Rio Declaration, we have said that sustainable development, that word has been used in the 1992 Rio Declaration. Okay, now people may ask, what is one more thing also I just wanted to say. We have come across the declarations, Biodiversity Convention, Climate Change, Kyoto Protocol, and several agreements. Sir, what are those difference between the things, sir? Like that, when you ask, means that is even in the law also you are having the hard law and the soft law. Hard law is something which is judicially enforceable. Soft law, it is more an advisory form. So that is, after signing the soft law, if you are not obeying any of the thing, that nobody can take any action by way of imposing any sanction or taking the matter to the International Court of Justice. Like that, they cannot do it. But on the other hand, if you sign any law which is construed to be a hard law, then you have to obey the thing. Disobeying or non-implementing the thing warrants certain sanctions from the other countries, and the other countries got the power to to take the matter to the International Court of Justice and all. Now, what are all the things which are considered to be in hard law, and what are the things which are soft law? Means declaration is part of the soft law, whereas the convention is part of the hard law. Then protocol is a hard law. Then you got that, what is this one? Agreement is an hard law. Now, after this hard law signature only, we brought that the Biodiversity Convention, Biodiversity Act, Basel Convention, we got the hazardous waste management handling rules, Montreal Convention, ozone depleting substances, like that. So after signing these type of the conventions, we are very much cooperative at the international level and brought the Indian level legislations. Now, coming back to the sustainable development, it was introduced in the Rio Declaration. That is the sustainable development, the word. But I can very well say, even prior to that, with reference to that Indian thing, we have been whatever that is being practiced in our country, that is, it is a very much sustainable only. How it is showing means, you just see that we are the Indians who worshipped the Panchabhuta. We are the Indians who have got associated the trees with the temple also. Like that, both in the societal level, community level, religious level, we have integrated our environmental thing, and we have given due respect to the environment through our religion also. So, and if you could be able to practice our own traditional culture, that will be more environmental friendly for that matter, and that is more a sustainable one. Take, for example, we are celebrating Pongal, Bogi, Matu Pongal, this and that. If you could be able to see in a scientific way, means this is more advocating the sustainable development. In fact, we are worshipping the sun god, we are worshipping the cow, we are worshipping the earth. By worship, we will not be doing any activity which is affecting or which is spoiling the thing. But unfortunately, because of the entry of the Western culture and because of the entry of that, what is this one, consumeristic culture, we have forgotten our own culture, and we have started this consumeristic thing. With the result, this environmental pollution has come. So when we are doing the young people, we used to take only the cotton bag. Now the Tamil Nadu government has formed the Manja Pai. Manjal means yellow, Pai means bag, yellow cotton bag. So the government has made one, what is this one? One program, that is that Manja Pai, because no plastic is completely banned. So like that, because of this intrusion, now we have forgotten our own of removing and replacing gone, repairing has gone. Now removing and replacing culture has come. With the result only, it has given so much of pressure on our environment. So had we follow our traditional culture, our traditional wisdom, by way that is very much advocating the sustainable development. So we need not say that in the 1992 Rio Declaration only we have been sensitized to what is a sustainable development. I can say that Indian culture is very much practicing the sustainable development only. Right. Now, coming back to the second question, So madam was saying in the year 2015, 17 goals, sustainable development goals, nearly 153 countries joined together and formed this one. But even prior to that, in the year 1996, in the, what is this one? In the Vellore Citizens Welfare Forum case, the Supreme Court has clearly said, as long as the sustainable development principle is not contrary to the municipal law, it is nothing wrong in infusing this principle into our domestic legal regime. Like that, he has given the judgment in the year 1996 in the Vellore Citizens Welfare Forum case. Now you can ask me one question. So, sir, now that sustainable development principle has been ingrained into our domestic legal regime through the Supreme Court, even prior to that 2015. So whatever the judgment pronounced by the Honorable Supreme Court, it will become the law of the land. So sustainable development principle is existing traditionally even prior to 1992. But 1996 Supreme Court has sensitized it. Then 2015 international communities joined together and formed the Sustainable Development Goals, 17 goals. Okay, now coming back to the next topic. So we will go for the next one. That is, sir, environmental legislation, how far this is a very, very important one. Now coming back to ask you, previously the moment when we say about that environment means people will say that you should not allow the water to stagnate, you must take after boiling that water. Like that only people were thinking about this is the environment. Now environment is playing a very good amount of that level at the international level. At the international, built-in camera will automatically activate it. Personal meetings are, please connect your camera in a proper, I have connected, camera is not connecting me. So this one. So international level, the environment is playing that role both at the economy as well as in the politics. How, sir? Take for example, even what is that GATT, that is the General Agreement and Tariff and Trade, WTO, their environment related clauses are indirectly there. Take for example, in the WTO, in that agreement, when A country is importing a product from a B country, if the manufacturing process of the particular product is not environmental friendly as per the laws of that A country, the A country can impose a ban of importing that particular product also. Here the question comes, how far it is environment related? Sir, whenever any product we are importing means we will be looking only the product and not the process except the agriculture and medicine. But now we are giving due importance for the process also. Number one. Number two, it is not environmental friendly. Environmental friendly is a loose term. So it is more a subjective one. It is not an objective one. Third one, as per the laws of the importing country, how can you apply that this importing country's law to the exporting country? Because both of them are the sovereign countries. Now you are not able to ask those questions. If you are not doing that one, that importing country will issue a ban. Now again, this will be a potential weapon in the hands of the developed country. If the developed country wanted to curtail the development of any developing country means they can impose a ban that your manufacturing process is not environmental friendly as per the laws of my country. Now, how far this India will get affected in the sense means India is the top exporter of the leather, top exporter of the tea. So tomorrow when any country which is importing a leather says that your leather manufacturing process is more a chemical induced, you are not treating your leather industry waste proper way, and so we will not be importing your leather means, then who will get affected means that India will not get affected, that the importing country will not get affected, it is the India will get affected. Now from this, what I wanted to sensitize you means that what is this one? sensitize you in the sense that environment is playing a good amount of that role, not only at the domestic level, but at the international politics and international economics also. This is the point I would like to say for you. Okay, now we will go one by one to the various act. Now I just wanted to take the PowerPoint. Now you tell me how to put that PowerPoint, sir. Already I have put that PowerPoint. You tell me. Hello. Yes, sir. PowerPoint, PPT.
Do you want to share, sir?
Yeah.
It is
But
on your
not-
desktop.
Yeah, I am in the power in the what is this one in the pen drive.
It is on the pen drive.
Hmm.
First open the folder, sir.
Folder. Okay, I will minimize it and open that folder.
But firstly, to share the screen.
Yeah, I will open that thing. Now you give me one by one instructions. Open USB. Yeah, I have opened the thing. I have opened.
Yes, sir. Open your PPT, sir.
PPT opened, madam.
Okay. In Zoom, there will be the option of presentation or share the screen.
And now I will minimize the thing. Then I will go
To maximize.
to the
With the option of presentation or share.
where is this one? So now that this is the one. Now that your
Presentation or share.
now your thing. Lenovo Zoom. So I'm not getting that Zoom at all. Your meeting thing.
Big show.
So PPT I have opened, madam.
Okay. There will be the option niche sir hoga presentation.
No. That your thing itself Zoom workplace is
In
not
his Zoom meetings, there will be the icons and beside
No.
downside
This
and the
Zoom,
mute is the video, participant, charts.
No, video Zoom itself is not gone. Where I don't know where is the Zoom.
शेयर करके देखो ना सर शेयर
Huh?
शेयर
No.
So maximize the Zoom window. So
Lenovo
maximize the Zoom window.
Zoom. Yeah. Now that is Zoom I have opened. Now this one. Now in that one, which one? Host
there
tools.
is a share button which is green in color. You have to click that.
Share.
Now you see it. Shine, madam, continue.
Share.
Sir, minimize.
You are able to see?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's
sir.
visible now, your PPT.
Environmental legislations in India.
Yes, sir.
Then next one.
Go to the slide share, sir.
Okay, slide share. Where is this slide share?
No, it is not visible, your PPT.
Yeah, this is what we will be encountering so many problems in the online. Now that I have opened the thing, now this one I have minimized. Now I am going for your Zoom.
Yeah.
Zoom has gone.
So maximize the Zoom window, sir. First of all, you
maximize that Zoom window.
you have to click the Zoom this window.
Then
Then
share.
maximize it. Then
Share.
again click on share.
Share.
Then click on the PPT which you want to share, sir.
Okay, PPT. I will just
So first you
PPT.
have to click on share, sir. The button
PPT
share.
share. You are able to see?
Yeah, now.
Yeah.
Don't minimize anything now, sir.
Now I will go to the second.
Yeah. Yes, sir. It's
Yes,
okay
sir.
now.
So
Yeah.
that environmental pollution with reference to that urbanization and the deforestation, what are the various major reasons for causing that environmental pollution? Now, because of the urbanization, and of course, urbanization is also an essential, but indiscriminate urbanization, unplanned urbanization only causing this environmental pollution. We must have the proper planning. Town and country planning is more important, but most of the times we are indiscriminating doing it. Or otherwise, I can just sensitize you the importance of law. Take for example, that in the year 1994 or 2004, that tsunami has happened, and prior to that, that in the Buji area, the earthquake has happened. Now, if you ask me what is the reason behind that, you will be saying, yes, sir, because of the earthquake only, so much amount of the buildings have collapsed in the Buji area and caused a big catastrophe. But I will be very much saying it, no, because because of non-implementation of our laws and not following or disobeying our own laws only has aggravated this thing, this problem, and lead to this big catastrophe. This is what I will be saying. How you will be saying, sir, if you ask me, means Bhuj is an identified area of the earthquake-prone zone. It is a earthquake-prone zone of 4, and the government has issued the prohibition of not building more than first floor or a second floor with this following height. Now you all know that where the earthquake will occur, that you can predict it. When the earthquake will occur, that will be very difficult to predict it. So in an identified zone, people have not followed the due laws and rules, and they have constructed like a multi-story building, and everybody thought that nothing will happen in our generation. But one day this catastrophe has happened, means everything has collapsed. Now, what is the reason we will be saying for that one? You will be saying, I am of that opinion, had you effectively implemented these laws, have you effectively followed these laws, have you effectively obeyed your own legislation, you could have avoided this much amount of the if catastrophe, or the effect of this catastrophe would have been minimized to a large extent. That earthquake, you cannot avoid it, but the effect of the earthquake would have been avoided to a large extent. Similarly, 2004, that tsunami has happened. Our coastal regulation zone very clearly says 500 meters is a no development area. But we have developed within that 500 meters so much amount of the amusement park, residential areas, and what is this one? These houses, what is this one? Farmhouses like that. And tomorrow anything happened because of the tsunami. Even the Chennai was very much affected, in 2004. And do you think, had we given the due respect of not building any structures within the 500 meters of the no development zone, the effect of this catastrophe would have been reduced to a large extent. From this, what I would like to say is that that laws have to be given that due respect, both by the state in implementing it and both by the people in obeying it. Without somebody saying that you should follow it, we must come on our own to follow the thing. So even in that urbanization also, indiscriminate urbanization. Indiscriminate means, say when there was a flood at one time, means if you just analyze what is the cause of that flood, means sometimes you have built the house in a place where you are not supposed to build the house. It would have been some lake area, or it would have been a pond or a temple tank or a reservoir like that. So those areas people have encroached and built the thing, means then tomorrow, and in that shallow area so much of water stagnated, means then how can you blame that because of the nature only? Even in the climate change also, we have only contributed large quantum of the greenhouse gases, and with the result, there is a change in the pattern of our weather pattern and the climate. Even in this month, we are not supposed to get any rain, but we are getting that rain. During the rainy season, we are not getting that rain. And last year in Chennai also, what was supposed to be poured in 1 month, it was poured in 3 days. With the result, our carrying capacity could not able to tolerate this much quantum of that rain within that. If the rains are sparse, means whatever that rain which has fallen, this will be absorbed, this will be what is this one, runoff also will be there, so that a balance will be maintained. But on the other hand, if 1 month rain is poured in 3 days, means the system could not able to tolerate it. System could, it is extending the threshold value. It is extending the carrying capacity. With the result, so many areas are flooded. In addition to that, our people are also contributing for that. How they means they are the several areas we have built. What is this one? The stormwater drain. But most of the time, stormwater drain, they are putting all sorts of the solid waste, and most of the time it is choked with the solid waste. So there is no way for the water to flow. With the result, water got stagnated, and this has caused the environmental pollution. This has caused flooding. Now, can you say that it is because of the nature or it is a man-made? Means nature is causing 10%, but it is being aggravated 90% by the man-made. Do you agree with that, madam or sir? Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. What about others?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Very good.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So,
sir. Yes, sir.
through industrialization, through deforestation, again, you see that deforestation, of course, whatever the thing which you have deforested, we have to plant that equal amount of the tree that is there. But how far it is being carried out through the social forestry scheme, that is the question mark. And globalization, that is also, I don't want to go in detail. Population, poverty, shift from the traditional to consumeristic culture. This is causing a heavy amount of the thrust or the load on our environment. Take, for example, the plastic or even that water bottle also. Then, so because of this consumeristic culture, which is adding more pressure, then with the result, the environment could not be able to tolerate it. So when it is exceeding, means we are feeling, then we cannot blame the nature. Okay. Change in our lifestyle, over exploitation of the finite resources, population, lack of information, mismanagement, maladministration, and overload on our ecosystem. These are all the major things which is causing the environmental crisis. Change in the lifestyle. I don't want to say, now when you go to the hotel, who is taking the idli or dosa or the sambar idli? Now everyone wanted to go for the pizza, burger, this one only. It has become the fashion of ordering through the Swiggy or the Zomato. I don't say that you should not do it, but on the other hand, you take not only on the health point of view, but also take it on the how much quantum of the water is being used for that one. If you could be able to see, that means it is having several tremendous environmental effects. Now, how many of them are taking the idli or dosa? Do you know what is a idli?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Huh? In
Yes.
Maharashtra, you take idli?
Yes, sir.
Very
Idli
good.
dosa, it's very famous.
Very good. Very good.
Nowadays in Mumbai, the morning breakfast is also most of people taking in idli.
I see. So I am very happy because this now that culture is slowly going it. Everybody wanted to go for the pizza, burger, and other sorts of junk foods. So with the result, not only the health but environmental point of view also, and this has become the lifestyle change. Then over exploitation of the finite resources. Resources have got this much quantum only, you have to this one within the carrying capacity. If it is exceeding the carrying capacity, exploration is okay, but exploitation should not be there. Because finite resources, take for example the energy sources. Availability of the fossil fuel is finite. But if you are exploiting the thing, one day the fossil fuel is gone, means then you have to depend only the alternative source of energy, like a solar energy or the tidal energy, the wind energy, like that only. Now that finite resources are finite. Now you must be using that finite resources in a judicious way within the carrying capacity, within the threshold value. But already we are not exploring, we are exploiting it, and we are overusing it, misusing, abusing, with the result that has got mounting a tremendous amount of the pressure on the environment. Population, but now population we cannot say, because population you can make it as an advantageous one also. In India, if you say that between the 25 to 30, 35, maximum population is there. This is the young energetic resources, and it is considered as a human resources. If you could effectively manage this human resources, means you can develop your economy. So population, the days have gone where the population is a negative one. Now the same population must be considered as a positive one. How far these human resources are effectively utilized for the developmental process, because this is a resource, like a natural resource. Lack of information, I told you in the first topic itself, that awareness, creating an awareness is most important. Then most of the people, by ignorance, they will be doing it. So for that, creating an awareness is important. Mismanagement and maladministration, overload in the ecosystem. Right. Whether there is a law crisis or environmental law crisis or environmental crisis, like that. I said there is no law crisis, because we are having several legislations are there. Environmental law crisis, absolutely. I can very well proudly and proudly say that India is the country where the maximum number of laws are there and maximum number of violators are also there. That is another thing. Then environmental crisis, yes. And environmental crisis, because of the non-availability of the environmental laws are not there. Not proper implementation of the environmental laws, this leads to the environmental crisis. Right. Why we need that environmental law? Number one, systematic and orderly maintenance of our environment. I told you in the beginning itself, when you wanted to have a orderly life, we must have a law. That's so when the law first, then only that law, that order. If there is no law, there will not be any order. But of course, you can say, sir, even there are several places without that law, they are having the orderly life, means that will be a self-imposed discipline. But in a country like ours, that self-imposed discipline is a very less one only, that most of the time regimental discipline plays the good amount of the role rather than self-discipline. But again, the question comes, it will pay for a small times, or self-imposed one play for a long time. That one also I agree with you. Then upholding the social justice. That is, I need not say, that is each for all and all for each. When you wanted to enjoy the fruits of the development, means social justice have to be given the due importance. And for that, that is the sharing of the natural resources is very important. If it is not properly shared, if it is not properly maintained, the people who are getting affected are not the upper in the society, upper society. It is the middle and the lower middle and the lower level. Even take for the climate change also, if you could see, because of this sea level rise or the erratic pattern of the climate change or the vulnerability factor, if you could see the thing, means most of the time it is the people who are below the poverty line or who are below that lower middle class, they are getting more affected because of the change in the climate. This is very much evident in our research studies also. So if you wanted to uphold the social justice, means definitely you must follow our rules, and proper sharing of the resources is very, very important. Balancing the development and environment, because environment is important, development is also very important. So in that case, how to balance it, that is the very tricky question, but we must balance it. For that only the sustainable development. What is that sustainable development? Development which takes care of, what is this one? Come on, tell me, what is that sustainable development? Yes, the development which takes care of the present generation. Yes. Hello? Oh, you are referring the book. The development of the present day generation without compromising in fulfilling the needs of the future generation. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So, fulfilling the needs of the present generation without compromising in fulfilling the needs of the future generation. This is what the sustainable development is. So the development is also essential. Environment is also essential. So we have to balance it. Balancing is a very delicate one, and that balance can be achieved through the legislations. Establish the prescriptions and prohibitions. What is the prescriptions? Then through that law, we are saying this is the way that resources have to be used. This is the way you have to you use the what is this one? You have to utilize that resources, quantum of that resources, mode of using that resources. Like that, you are putting certain prescriptions, conditions, and certain prohibitions. You are not supposed to use in this way. Take for the mining. Mining means you are identifying this area is fit for the mining. Okay. What is the quantum of the mining can be done in this area? That is being suggested, or that is being said after evaluating scientifically by the mining department. He is putting a mining plan in such a way this area is fit enough to be mined. Mined means, again, that you are exploring the natural resources for the development. But on the other hand, they are putting certain prescriptions, the method of using, mode of using. You can go only up to 50 meters and are even less than that, depending upon the water table available in that area. You should have a buffer zone. And when you are started excavating, you must put the benches, first bench, second bench, that is between the one bench and another bench, this much length to be maintained. Then number 3, even though you can take it in the 5 years mine plan, this much quantum of the ore can be mined, or the resources can be mined, whether it will be the rough stone or a gravel or the granite. But whatever that is available in 5 years in that mine plan, if you could take it in 1 year, means it is a over exploitation. So for that, a sustainable mining is essential. Okay, first year, this much quantum you can take it. Second year, this much quantum you can take it. How to carry it out? Then when you are mining out, topsoil should not be topsoil. After removing the topsoil, you gain, after mining, you have to fill up the topsoil in that area, because topsoil is full of nutrients. After mining that area, you should have a proper mine plan to close that mine also. Then when you are removing the tree and other things, means then you have to put that plant the trees also. Then you have to allot 10% for the corporate social responsibility also. Like that, we are putting not only the prescriptions in exploring our natural resources, but also issuing certain prohibitions you are not supposed to use in this way. Okay, now establishing incentives and disincentives. But of course, this is a very, very less in our country. Why I am saying this so means because economics is not integrated with the environment. Incentive in the sense means if you could use this way, you will be given more incentive. If you could use in this way, then your incentive will be cut like that, not there. But in the due course of time, when the carbon trading come means definitely this will have an effect. Probably you will be knowing what is a carbon trading in the climate change. This much amount of the carbon only you are supposed to release it. If you release the less than that means then you can sell that one to the other company also. Like that, you will be coming that. Of course, in India, we are not doing it, but the day is not far away. It will be coming in the future also. Then law. Not only as a litigation tool, but as a management tool. What is the difference between the litigation tool? Litigation tool means when something happened, you are going to the court, then you are spending so much of money, then waiting for so much for the judgment. Then after getting the thing, then you are going for an appeal, then from the lower court to higher court from the single bench, single judge to the higher bench, then going to the Supreme, like that. It is a very long process. Hello? Like that, it is a long process also. What I would like to say is, had we used our laws as a mitigation tool, as a litigation tool, that is so much, have we used our law as a management tool, you can avoid so much of litigations in the future also. Okay? Next one. Then goals of our environmental law. Articulate that environmental policy and program. Yes. Whether we are having that environmental policy. First time we had it in the year 1996, we had that environmental policy. After that, 2006, an environmental policy came. This environmental policy, if you could able to read in the 2006, it is most of the time whatever the judgments pronounced by the Honorable Supreme Court, that certain new principles, new doctrines have been integrated into our environmental policy. To quote a few of them, like a precautionary principle, polluter pays principle, then absolute liability, public trust doctrine, sustainable development, all these principles, then if you could able to see between 1996 and 2006, most of the court cases, the Supreme Court has evolved this, and in the year 2006, in that environmental policy, this has been integrated. You want a 5 minutes break? I will give you, or you want me to continue? I will continue. 12:45, 1 hour 45 minutes over. You want me to have a break? I will give you, otherwise I will continue.
Sir, we need break of 5 minutes.
Sure, I will be sitting here only. The moment when you say, I will start it. The moment when you say, I will start. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Sure. You tell me, sir. Yes, sir. We have availed the break. Now we can start means then I will do it.
Okay, sir.
Hello? Yeah, hello? Ah. No, that's what but she has neither contacted me nor putting any information. I am totally fine. Now that only I understand from you that whether there is any she asked me whether the Constitution of India can be taken. I said okay. Then she asked me to send you a CV. Then I have given let her contact me, then we will do it. You are a student? Okay, but I am totally blind, totally blind. No, but I am in an online meeting. Just I have given a 5 minutes break. The moment when you have given the break, I attended your phone call. So you can call me after the afternoon. Because another 1.5 hours the online meeting. Instead now the 10 minutes break you can give it. So the moment when I have given the break and gone for a cup of coffee, you called me. That's why I have been able to attend the meeting. You can convey to the way that is not very clear. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Okay, sir ji.
I am without wasting the time. I am going on trying for the camera, but still it is a problem. None.
Okay, okay.
Avatar, video filters, size, studio effects. Studio effects. It is a ulta way.
Sir, camera has been rotated, I think.
Camera, how to rotate it? How to do the thing? That's what I am also. More breakout rooms, disable, share computer sound. I can call one of my friend and do the thing.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
Start. Can you start, sir?
Yeah. Touch up my appearance. Nothing there. Adjust the low
सर
line.
पीपीटी को फुल स्क्रीन कीजिए ना,
Huh?
फुल स्क्रीन कीजिए पीपीटी को।
Full screen का PPT है.
Sir, there is no need to full screen. It is okay. Now
it is-
visible to all of us. Then,
Can we start?
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, but still that my video I am trying, it is not going.
Okay,
So-
sir. No issue, sir.
No issue, sir. There is no need to video.
Okay.
Your PPT is visible to all of us.
Okay. So overload, overload on the. Shall we start?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So next one, change in the lifestyle, over exploitation, population, lack of information. I told you. Then law crisis. I told you. Then uphold the social justice. I told you. Then goals of that environmental law. That is articulate that I told you about that environmental policy. Then about the program. What is the difference between the policy and program? Means policy must, that is what we wanted to achieve. It is the policy, or otherwise what we can call it as a, that is a vision statement. Even take for example, we are having the what is this one, national education policy, agricultural policy, industrial policy, environmental policy, fiscal policy, like that we are having several policies. So these policies will be put for another 5 years, 10 years, like that. It may vary from government to government also. So then the policy is what we wanted to achieve in 10 years or achieve in 5 years, like that we will be putting the policy. It is the vision statement. Then if you don't have, if you have the policy alone, then we cannot achieve it. For that we must work it out a program, and that working out the program is nothing but a plan of action for that. And that plan of action must be a time related one. First year, first 3 months, first 6 months, first 1 year, like that we are working out, we are charting out a plan of action, we are charting out a program of action with the time limitations. Then only the policy can be achieved. Then for example, even in our educational institution also, we are having the vision, where we wanted to go, what we wanted to achieve, then how to achieve it, the mode, the plan, the program, we will be quoting it in our mission for that. So a mission and vision are more important. So vision where we wanted to go, mission how to go for that within the time frame for that. Similarly, when we wanted to achieve that environmental policy, we must have the mission for that. That mission is nothing but the environmental laws. So through that environmental legislations, or one such a tool is the environmental legislations in order to achieve the goal of that environmental policy. One major tool is the environmental law. Okay. Now that is what is the goal for that one? Preserve, protect, and conserve that natural environment. You know that what is the preserving, what is the protecting, and what is the conserving it. Conserving is different from preserving it. Preserving is something when you are preserving even the dead one, it is called as a preserving. But conserving is something that you are protecting it in the natural way, and that is conserving it. But again, when you are following the sustainable development, means not just conserving in the sense means not touching at all. It doesn't mean not touching at all. When a tree is there, you are not cutting the tree, but whatever the fruits and other things which is given, that we are enjoying it. So like that, whatever the benefits out of that one, we can enjoy it without going to the basement or without spoiling the base for that. Then our goals of that environment is of the people and from the people. That is, of the people means it must give benefit to the people, and it must not keep the environment away from the people. See, take for example, when we wanted to protect the forest, means forest, you cannot keep the forest dwellers outside and protect the forest. then when we wanted to protect our what is that marine ecosystem or the fish means fishermen are the first people who knows about the complete details. By completely omitting the fisherman, if you develop any policy or a program, it will be an worthless. So that your plan, your program must be in such a way that one of the goal is that it must be of the people and not from the people. It should not keep away from the people. It must integrate the people for that one. For example, any policy of the government to be achieved means, I used to say that the 3 P's are very, very important. One P is the political will. Another one is the public participation. The third one is the professional ethics. So public participation, unless the public is enlightened that these are all the benefits we are going to enjoy, and secondly, this is what that mitigation measures we are going to integrate in the project in order to protect our environment. If you could highlight the thing, if people are satisfied and if people are convinced, definitely they will be extending the fullest cooperation for the development. Then the project will be a complete successful one. But most of the time, people got agitated because of the misinformation, because of the malinformation, and they are not knowing fully. With the result, they are carried away by certain NGOs and other things in the negative way. With the result, that project cannot be implemented. So our goal must be of the people and not from the people. Provide institutional mechanism for the allocation of natural resources and their use in the developmental process. Institutional mechanism. For example, we are having that environmental legislation, but just because it is available in the paper, you cannot implement the thing. For the purpose of effectively implementing these legislations, we need a good institutional mechanism. What is that institutional mechanism? That is, say, when the law and order have to be protected means we require a police department. Similarly, when the pollution-related laws have to be effectively implemented, there is a special department created by the government, namely the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Apart from that, they have created a statutory body like the Central Pollution Control Board, State Pollution Control Board. And these boards are empowered to grant the consensus to operate it, consensus to establish it. Apart from that, whatever that Water Act, Air Act prescribes certain standards, certain provisions, certain prescriptions, certain prohibitions, they are empowered to implement those prescriptions and prohibitions. If any industry or if any of the projects which they are not following these environmental laws, Water Act or Air Act or the EP Act means, or any of the rules like municipal solid waste or the hazardous waste, etc., 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 then the Pollution Control Board engineers they are in a hierarchical way. They are empowered to do in a systematic way collecting of the samples, analyzing the samples. If it is exceeding that limit means, then they are empowered to prosecute it. Then they can give the punishment. The punishment may vary depending upon the quantum of the crime they have committed it, by way of cutting that electricity, by way of cutting that water supply, by cutting both the things and closing down that industry. Sometimes if there is any violation means, then they can impose certain fine, and they can also impose certain polluter through the polluter pays principle. They will impose a certain fine, and that fine they will be utilizing in order to regenerate the environment once again back to the original condition. So now the purpose is institutional mechanism. Unless otherwise, you have got a systematic, organized institution, and to implement these environmental legislations in an effective way, you cannot, for that purpose only, you are having the statutory bodies, that is the Central Pollution Control Board and State Pollution Control Board. Of course, the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change will evolve the policy and program. Similarly, at the state level, Department of Environment, Forest and Climate Change is there. And this department, for the state-wise, they will be forming the policy. And the board will be effectively implementing this policy as well as the legislations. Then must set up environmental standard. What is that standard? Suppose we are all teachers. So when we wanted to make a student to pass in that examination, means there is a minimum standard, that is the 50 marks for passing that. Internal assessment, this is the mark. External examination, this much amount of that mark. Then we are saying above the 60 first class, above 60 and 70 A grade, A plus, like that. We, after the discussion, we are evolving certain standards in order to grade the students, and in order to make the students to pass, they have achieved that minimum passing minimum, so that they can be granted the pass and they can be promoted to the next class. Like that, in the environment also, taking the various factors into consideration, the ministry has evolved certain standards. Standards in the sense means before letting out any effluents, these effluents must be within that limit, that is that standard. What is the BOD, biochemical oxygen demand? What is the chemical oxygen demand? What is the quantum of the heavy metals? Then depending upon the receiving bodies also, they can change the thing. So unless otherwise you prescribe a standard, you cannot say that particular industry has violated and contributed more quantum of the pollutants. It is one of the goals of that environmental law to prescribe the environmental standards, whether that air pollution or the water pollution or the soil pollution. After making the standard only, we can say that this particular industry or this particular project, after duly collecting the sample, analyzing the sample, and coming to that conclusion that it has exceeded that limit, then only you can able to prosecute that industry, produce before the court of law, and get the punishment. So prescribing the environmental standards or setting up that environmental standard is the most important one. Okay, now I don't want to go in detail about the Indian Constitution. Why I wanted to go means, before going to the prelude of 48A and 58B, just Indian Constitution length, written constitution, then 440, all these things are the basic things. Then I don't want to take, because this is a law class. Then coming to that, I told you that Article 48A and 51AG. 48A, it is the fundamental duty of the state. 51AG is the fundamental duty of the citizens. So in our constitution, under the 42nd constitutional amendment, I told you 2 articles have been inserted. One, Article 48A, it prescribes a duty on the part of the state. State means the government, to protect our environment. It is not only the government, it is also the people have to extend the cooperation, and they should also protect that environment. With the result, 51A under the subsection G has been introduced in the same constitutional amendment, 42nd amendment in the year 1976, one of the fundamental duty of the citizens. Now, after that, 11th schedule, new schedule was added under the Article 243G in the year 1992. What are all the subjects which were added? Land improvement, implementation of the land reforms, land consolidation, soil conservation, then minor irrigation, social forestry, farm forestry. All these things are environmental related one. Then similarly, new schedule was added in the year, and that entry, drinking water, fuel and fodder, non-conventional energy, maintenance of the community assets. Because for the biodiversity, it is a very, very important one, assigning the functions of the panchayat with a view to have an effective environmental management at the lower level. Then 12th schedule, 243W, 74th constitutional amendment, that is the urban forestry, protection of environment, promotion of ecological aspects. It commands urban local bodies, municipalities to perform the functions of the protection of environment. Then 7th schedule, that is the concurrent list, forest was being introduced. Protection of the wild animals and birds, providing the population control and family planning. These things were all later inserted through the various. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please, sir. Please. Any doubt is there? Please.
Continue, sir. No.
Okay. So protection of the wild animals, birds, and providing population control, family planning. Right. Now, 253 of the article in the Constitution. These are all related with the environmental law. See, if anyone reads the preamble of the Water Act, Air Act, it very clearly says under the Article 253 of the Constitution, we are enacting this legislation. Now, what is the 253 of the article? These articles, they are enacted, implement the decisions reached at the United Nations Conference on the Human Environment 1972, Stockholm. You know what is that human environment? It is nothing but the Stockholm Declaration. In the beginning of my lecture, I told you that the declaration is part of the soft law. It can be obeyed or it need not be obeyed. There is no such hard and fast rule for that, or disobeying of that particular one does not warrant any penal action over the disobeying of this one. Like that, I told you. So the declaration is part of the soft law. But in spite of that soft law, India has given the due credence, due importance for that. And based upon that only, India has enacted, Indian Parliament has enacted in the year 1976 for the first time, 74 for the first time, in order to protect our water bodies. That is the Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act was enacted. In that act, in that preamble of that act, it clearly says that we are enacting this law as per the provisions of the Article 253 of the Constitution. 253 clearly says whenever India entered any of the foreign thing, they can modify that law. But quoting that, what is the Stockholm Declaration, India has enacted this law. So, number 2, Air Act also, the same Article 253 is being quoted in the preamble of the Act. Environmental Protection Act also, it is being quoted. Right. Part 9, inserted in the 74th Constitution, Panchayat Raj, devolution of powers, municipalities, and environmental status report to be given. Now, the thing is, now in the 74th Constitutional Amendment, a panchayat is given the constitutional status. Please remember, now if any of the project which is coming there in any of the villages, if the panchayat, that is that panchayat people joined together and made a memorandum that this project we don't need it because this will have a lot of negative impact on our society or on our lifestyle or on our culture or on our environment, if they call for a meeting and they made this agenda and passed a resolution with the majority, means that project cannot be implemented at all. You must see how far these panchayats have been empowered under the Article 74 of the 74th Amendment of the Constitution. This is what I would like to emphasize on you. Okay. Similarly, now this environmental status report have to be given by every panchayat, but unfortunately, Most of the panchayats are not giving it. Even if they are giving it, it will be only a ritual because they don't have much funds to employ a consultant and do the thing. But anyhow, that our 74th Constitutional Amendment, Part 9, clearly prescribes, number one, devolution of the powers to the municipalities, then environmental status report. Then coming back to that 42nd Constitutional Amendment, I told you, or the 48A, I told you. Okay. Then obligation of the state should endeavor to protect and improve that environment. Obligation on the part of the citizens, I told you. Thus, a dual duty is imposed on every citizen, not only to protect the environment from any kind of pollution, but also to improve the environmental quality if it has been polluted. This provision highlights the national consensus on the importance of environmental protection and improvement. 47th article. This one makes a reference to the improvement of public health as one of the primary duties of the state. This fact envisages a pollution-free environment for all the people. Then, the state shall have the regard raising the level of nutrition, standard of living, people improvement of the public health as among the primary duties. In particular, state shall endeavor to bring about the prohibition of the consumption except for the medicinal purposes, consumption of alcohol and intoxicating drinks which are injurious to health. 49 and the environment. Environment imposes obligation on the state to present every monument, to protect every monument or place or objects of artistic or historic interest to be the national importance from spoliation, disfigurement, destruction, removal, disposal, or export as the case may be. So 49 also in a way can be related with the environment because protection of the monuments is also very, very important one. Now, this adopts the fundamental guiding principles. I told you that environmental policy, now that for the purpose of evolving this environmental policy, we need certain guiding principles. What are those guiding principles means? Number one, preventing of pollution at the source. This is the two things. Now, if there are two things, one is end pipe treatment, another one that is controlling the pollutants at the end of the pipeline itself. That is, after releasing the pollutants, you are treating the pollutants, and after the treatment, you are letting out in the public sewer system or a reservoir or this one. That is the one aspect. Now, second aspect, you are integrating in your process itself in such a way, thereby you are reducing the pollutants and instead of going for the end pipe treatment. That is altering the process itself. So that you can what is this one? Prevent the pollution at the source itself. That is one of the policy. Second one, adaptation of the best available technology. So whatever, see today, whatever the best technology available, you must adopt it in such a way you can reduce the pollution load into the atmosphere. That is the adaptation of the best available technology. Third one, polluter pays principle. What is that polluter pays principle? See, you must take as much as possible precaution in order to avoid the pollution. But still, that is by after duly adopting the best available technology, still if you have contributed certain pollutants into that atmosphere, into the environment, means it is the duty on your part to remove the pollutants, rehabilitate that particular area. For that, whether you are doing it deliberately or by accidentally, then you have to pay for that in order to regenerate the system to the original condition by way of one who is polluting has to pay for that one. But that does not mean I will pay for that, so I am polluting it. Like that, you are not getting any right to pollute. But on the other hand, if you have polluted even after adopting best available technology at that time, then number two, accidentally, if you have polluted the thing means, then you have to pay for that in order to remove the pollutant from that atmosphere and regenerate the environment and bring back to the original condition. For that, there is a principle called the polluter pays principle. This principle have to be integrated into our environmental legislations as a guiding principle. Then the fourth one is the public participation in decision making. This is what I told you in the beginning, that public have to be given the due importance. When you are when you are adopting or when you are implementing the forest law, you cannot remove the forest dwellers. With the cooperation of the forest dwellers, with their own ideas and suggestions only, you can improve the forest wealth. By completely isolating those people, if we wanted to do means, it is the foolishness on your part. Similarly, that is, the fishermen must be given the due importance in order to implement any act which is related to the coastal areas or with reference to the fishing, because fishermen are more knowledgeable than us, and whatever that ideas, suggestions they are giving it, we must integrate it, try to integrate it. And also, when we have given the due credence and importance to the people who are associated with that particular activity, they will also have the feeling of we feeling, so that they will they will have more commitment and they will be contributing. They will not be polluting. If anybody is polluting, it means they will prevent it, they will stop it also. It is not the justice done, justice seems to be done. Like that, they will also do, they will not be indulging. If anybody indulges, they will stop it and prevent it also. So for that reason, you must effectively integrate the people who are associated with the particular activity, or in other words, public participation is more important. Now, Indian Water Act, then water prevention and control rules, we have brought it. Then water prevention and control of pollution procedure for transaction of the business, that was also brought. Then you come across the water prevention and control cess rules, air prevention and control of pollution 1981, amended in the year 1987. So these two are commonly called as a Water Act and Air Act. Then Air Prevention Control Act, then the rules, Environmental Protection Act 1986, Public Liability Insurance Act 1991, National Green Tribunal Act 1995, National Environmental Appellate Authority Act 1997, Forest Conservation Act 1980. Okay, we will go one by one in detail. Various rules brought under the Act. I told you constitutional provisions. Then you come across the Act. Then within that Act, you come across the, under the delegated legislations, you come across the various rules, regulations, bylaws, notifications, then office memorandum. I told you some half an hour back. Now, various rules brought under the EP Act. I told you there are major 5 acts. Number 1, Water Act, Air Act, EP Act, Public Liability Insurance Act, NGT Act. But under the EP Act, Section 5 confers the power to the executive depending upon the situation warrants, circumstances it needs. Then the executive is delegated with the power of bringing any rules, regulations, notifications. But of course, it has to be ratified after the reasonable period of time from the Parliament. Now, by using this particular section only, now the government has brought several rules, regulations. Those are all emission standard rules of pollutants from the various industries. 1996 EP Act, guidelines for the location of the industries, environmental impact assessment of developing projects, hazardous waste management handling rules, manufacture, storage and import of hazardous chemical rules. Like that, it was being brought. Various rules brought a coastal regulation zone, scheme of labeling the friendly products like eco mark. Then various rules restricting the certain level range of the special specified area RLE, biomedical waste, eco-sensitive zone, environmental protection second amendment rules, then tea oil regulations, then recycled plant manufacturing usage of rules, environmental settings, Taj trapezium zone, dumping and disposal of the fly ash notification, noise pollution control rules, municipal solid waste management handling rules, public liability insurance rules, then forest conservation rules. Then you come across the material sources of environmental law. Now, custom or a customary law, treaties, then decisions of the judicial arbitral trials. Now, let me not go in detail about that. These are all certain jurisprudential principles that is not necessary for you. Right. Then dispute settlement mechanism. Now, for any dispute arises in the process of implementing that act, you have got certain dispute settling mechanisms like negotiations, mediations, conciliation, arbitration, then judicial settlement, then international court of justice. Like that, we are having the various process. Then principles of that international law, just I am telling you, international law, I told you in the beginning, it is playing an enormous role in the emergence of domestic legal regime. For that, I told you several examples from the WTO, GATT, Basel Convention, Montreal Convention, Biodiversity Convention, Kyoto Protocol. Like that, I told you. Now, this one, what are the various fundamental principles of the international environmental law? Number one, state sovereignty has to be prescribed, have to be protected. Number two, that is the cooperation. Number three, preservation and protection of the environment, prevention, precaution, polluter pays principle, information and assistance in environmental emergencies, then instrumentation, consultation of the cross boundary. Then concept of framing this environmental law. Number one, sustainable development. That is the development which is taking care of in fulfilling the needs of the present generation without compromising in fulfilling the needs of the future generations. Like that, you must develop any project that must be, of course, environmentally sustainable, ecologically sustainable, then socially also must be sustainable. How it is so socially sustainable in the sense means people's acceptance. You see what has happened in the Sterlite industry, what has happened in several industries when the Silent Valley project and all, when the people's acceptance is not there, there will be a lot of dharna and other things. With the result, the project may not be implemented. So for that, it is very, very important in integrating the people cooperation in order to effectively enact this particular program. Then consumption, that's a convention and the concern of humanity. Then right of the future generation, that is also more right of the future generation. The present generation right or the welfare alone should not be taken into consideration. We have to take care of the future generation. That's why it is called as an intergenerational equity. Intergenerational equity in the sense means both the present as well as the future generation, their welfare have to be given due importance. The present generation is given a duty and the future generation has got that right. So whatever the way we borrowed, that the environment is not something which we have inherited from our forefathers, but we borrowed from our future generation. We have to hand it over in such a way, the same way what we have borrowed the thing in. We are not the owner of this environment. We are only the guardian and custodian. We are only the trustee of this one. Trustee in the sense means you are not the owner, but you have been given the right to use it in a judicial way without crossing the what is this one what we can say threshold value or the carrying capacity, or it must be within the regenerating capacity. Of course, these things not necessary for you. Then remedies available under the environmental damage constitutional remedy. When we talk about that law, then again, sometimes when the law is being misused, or we have got certain jurisprudential principles also. When any industry is just like that prosecuted means sometimes it may be a frivolous, sometimes it may be the false complaint also. So in that case, whether that allegation is truly or false, then we have got a certain set principles or set practices, certain procedures are there. We have to follow the due procedure of law in order to ascertain that particular offense is being committed by the other party. Then only we can bring those things before the court of law and get the punishment. So the procedure have to be given the due importance. The procedure have to be duly followed. And for that one, you have got certain remedies are available. See, there is every chance for the government to misuse it or overuse it. So in that case, just like that the power is there so that you can do anything and everything, nothing. So the powers are also limited with certain safety walls. So when these powers are overstepped its limitations, overstepped its jurisdiction means then again the court will come into the rescue and say your act is construed is over while is construed over what is this one overstepping your limitations without the jurisdiction you have acted. So whatever that action which you have done, it is the null and void. Like that, the third arm and pillar of the democracy, namely the judiciary, which is an independent authority, is empowered through the constitution to interpret not only the law, but also innovatively it can establish certain rules, regulations, but that will be in force till the assembly or the parliament enacts that law. Take for example, in the Visakha was a state of Rajasthan, for the the judgment was given for the working people in the government. That what are the rights that the working people should not be misused or anything. That right, whatever that right which is being given is very much enshrined in the Visakha state of Rajasthan case. Now you come across the what is this one various writs I told you: habeas corpus, quo warranto, mandamus, certiorari, then prohibition. Apart from that, we can go for the civil suit also. Then present over that constitutional remedy, of course, I don't want to go, but relatively speedy, cheaper, direct access to the higher judiciary releases the chances for the further appeal and the prolonged litigation, oral evidence. Like that, you have got certain advantages and deserve. Sustainable development, I already told you. Official objective, critical objectives are the environmental developmental policy, reviving the growth, then changing the quality of the growth, then meeting the essentials of the job, food, energy, then ensuring the sustainable level of population. Then you come across conserving and enhancing the resources law. Then you come across the reorientation of the technology and management risk, then marketing, environmental, and decision making. Okay. Now, principles guiding the sustainable development must be integration of the environment and economic decisions, stewardship, shared responsibility, prevention, conservation, recycling, enhancement, rehabilitation and the reclamation, then scientific and technological innovation, global responsibility, precautionary principle, polluter pays principle. Like that, the various principles, based upon the principles only, these environmental legislations have been enacted. Efficient use of resources, public participation, understanding and respecting, access to the adequate information, integrated decision making and planning, then substitution. Okay, now in the recent years, apart from the command and control, that is controlling the industries are controlling the pollutants through the legal way. Another one through the economic way. When you wanted to do the legal way, there are certain advantages and disadvantages. When you do it in the economic way, there are certain advantages and disadvantages. So disadvantages of the command and control. Command and control means through the law, you are enforcing it. Positive way, that is whatever the height you are below the law, number one. Then number two, it is the duty on the part of the citizens to protect our law, then they have to obey that law also. Disobedience of that law will warrant the punishment. These are all the things you know very well. But again, that is the advantages of the command and control. So when I am putting that law and ask you to do the thing, means there are certain advantages are also there. There are certain disadvantages also there. Disadvantages in the sense means, see, in a country like ours, whatever that you are planning and enacting, if the other fellows will find out some loopholes, and through that loopholes, they will escape from the clutches of law, number one. Number two, command and control regime, certain advantages are also there, disadvantages. Number one, it is the, no incentives, polluter discharges from the prescribed. That is, here, see, a person who has got 60 marks is also a first class. A person who got 99 is also a first class. If you are not putting that mark, then what you will be knowing, whether it is the 60 mark first class or the 99 marks first class, there is a broad range is there. Similarly, that is, suppose 30 BOD, you have to discharge your effluent with 30 BOD. But as a socially responsible citizen, I am taking care and reducing my BOD to 20 means I am not giving any incentive. So why should I take more responsibility or adopt a technology thereby? Why should I reduce other than the prescribed limit? Like that, my tendency will develop. Suppose if the government is giving some incentive for having taken so much pain in not going less than the 30 BOD, so you are adequately, awarded, you are adequately, your service is being recognized and you have been rewarded. Like that, we don't have any provision in our Indian setup. So for that reason, people will prefer to stay in the same status quo rather than going below that standard. So polluter discharges less than the provided. That is okay. The whatever you say, that is okay. That is the tendency the people will develop. Next one, regulations prescribe what technology. Governance may not know what level of available technology. This is a very important one. See, on one hand, as a consultant, you will be suggesting that this technology is the best one. But again, that technology, availability of the technology, indigenous technology, importing of the technology, what type of the royalty we have to pay, what is that investment cost, what is that recurring cost. So those things which are not very much insignificant in that one. So why should I go for that one? I will limit myself with the domestic or the temporary or the what is this one? A basic one. I may be restricting it. That is the one of the disadvantages in the command and control. Through the legal regime, you wanted to control means this is a one such problem. Then from the time beyond the budget of the small scale industries, abatement of the cost vary, find the pipeline treatment and not adoption of the cleaner production. And see, pipeline adaptation, pipeline technology, that is end pipe treatment we are going. We are not going for the clean development mechanism. Now it is a mandatory to go for the clean development mechanism. You must reduce the pollutants, then the prescribed limit. Then fines for that is provided if they caught. Otherwise, who will do? See, even in our traffic also, when the traffic policeman is there, when you take that left means you will be caught. When you go very speed on the right side, you may try to escape it also. So like that, there are a number of the loopholes available both in the law as well as in the practical way, so that you can escape from the clutches of law. Then penalties unrelated to the extent of the non-compliance. See, your punishment must be proportionate to your offense. But sometimes the fines may be very less. Then actually the person who is polluting will calculate it by way of installing this particular equipment. I am incurring and this much amount of the fixed cost, this much amount of the recurring cost. Then I am also getting the, what is this one? Every year there will be a depreciation value. So he will be working out. But by way of letting out that effluent, this is the cost of the punishment which I am going to get by way of paying the fine. Which one is the most cost beneficial? He will be working out. He will take the second one rather than the first one. This is one of the disadvantage one that. So for that, we must increase our penalty level. Industry is reactive rather than proactive. Economic benefits more than the penalty. This is what I told you. And of course, bribes subvert our regulatory intent. Innovative technology is very much limited, less effective and this is the most important one. We are most talking about the point source. Point source can be identified, but non-point source is a very, very difficult one. So non-point source, take for example, agricultural pollution. It is the non-point source. Non-point source, solid waste. So we are not working out vehicles point source, industry point source, whereas the solid waste non-point. Non-point source, it is very difficult to catch the fellows and prescribe the punishment. And most of the time, agricultural people have never been punished at all, even though they are also causing a lot of pollution, because agriculture is our backbone of our thing. So high transactions, high cost of implementation, then requires the significance. Then, okay, I think we are coming into the end, don't worry. Then litigation promote the game theory, involves of the delay. See, suppose if I go to the court, means there are certain disadvantages, more expensive, with the parties don't have control over the proceedings. Sometimes the solution may not be acceptable, while deciding the dispute court may not be appropriate, the local problem. Litigation offers promotes the win-lose situation, and like that extensive state involvement, little flexibility with the best available technology, uniform standards for diversified, like that. So for that way only, we have to prescribe for the ADR. ADR means alternative dispute resolution technology, or the tools like negotiation, like mediation, arbitration. Then we can go for the alternative dispute resolution mechanism. So look beyond environment, economic and market-based instruments. Now, at present, even though we are following 1 to 5% only, but in future, because of the compulsion of the international lay, we have to follow the economic one and market-based Hello? Hello? நீங்க phone பண்ணிட்டு என்ன யாருன்னு கேக்குறீங்க? Somebody has telephoned. After the telephone, she is asking me who is telephoning me. You only called me and I am responding it. And now you are asking who is calling. Actually, I should not have lifted the phone when I am on that online. It is totally an indisciplined activity. Kindly excuse for that one. Okay, economic and market-based instruments protecting our commons. Common means, see, there are air, water, the coastal line. These are all common property resources. Common property resource, everyone has got the right to use it. No one has got the right to misuse, overuse, and abuse it. If anyone uses, misuses, abuses, overuses, means everybody has got the right to prevent that particular activity for that one. So that is protecting our common is more important than securing the stakeholders participation. This is what I told you, that the stakeholders participation. Fisheries means fishermen, then forest means forest dwellers, then taxes and subsidies. Suppose if I am, see, a person who got 95 marks, then person 85, oh, having got so much, he can be given some sort of an incentive by way of giving certain scholarships, so that he will be encouraging his innovative mind also. Like that, when I am reducing, when I am more socially conscious person, reducing my BOD 30 to 20 means I must be given some sort of a tax subsidy and some sort of an incentive. If I am giving, I have been given means, then I will be more responsible citizen and more proactive way I will be activating. Then trading the pollution rights. This is what I told you, the carbon trade. And though it is not coming, but the day is not far, we will be coming across the carbon trading also. Then tragedy of the commons, externality, this one. Incremental investment, green markets, then abroad willingness to pay the green goods. Then these are all the things, 14,000 certification, these are all the things coming. Future perspectives of that environmental management, command and control to participatory environmental management, state regulation to self-regulation, dispute resolution to dispute avoidance, formal justice delivery to non-formal mechanism, the environmental decisions making top down to bottom top, then human rights to the bandwagon of the ecological integrity. Okay, so now finally, for an effective environmental management, reduce, recover, recycle, remediation, and respect our environment. Then education, engineering, enforcement, of course, the economics. Then finally, political will, public participation, and professional ethics, so that we can protect all our, we can have a good environmental management, because management is becoming the buzzword. Why that management means, see, we cannot completely protect our environment and we cannot have a complete development also. That whatever the development which is taking place, there will be some negative impact on our environment. So for that reason, we cannot prevent our development. We can adequately integrate various mitigation measures in our development process, so that our development will be a sustainable development. Okay, thank you so much. Another 5 to 1:55, another 5 minutes is there. You can ask any questions, doubts, clarification, comments, and criticism.
Sir, I have one question.
Yes, sir.
As I have told you that, sir, Part 11A inserted in 74th Constitution Amendment in 1992. Can you elaborate the Panchayat Raj devolution of powers?
Yes. Now that the Panchayat Raj, see, when Panchayat Raj, when during the Panchayat meeting, they can, what is this one? They can pass a resolution that this particular project in our area causing so much of environmental damage, and this will be affecting the livelihood of the people. Like that, if they pass any resolution in their panchayat meeting, means that project can be stopped also. That much power constitutionally given to the panchayats, number one. Number two, that every panchayat has to do that environmental status report also, they have to submit it. So in that process of submitting that environmental status report, because of this particular industry or because of this particular project, our environment is being affected in this way. If they give it, means that particular thing can be stopped or even regulated also. This much amount of the power has been given, or devolution of powers under the Panchayat Raj through the 74th constitutional amendment given to the panchayats.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay?
Okay, yes, I got it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hello, sir.
Yes, madam.
First of all, thank you so much, sir.
No
You
problem.
had lots of informations regarding the act and rule internationally, nationally, and Supreme Court Act, whatever. There are so many information you have provided. I want to ask one question.
Sure, madam.
Sir, are the Sustainable Development Goals legally binding?
I don't say as if now it is not legally binding. It is not legally binding. It is more an advisory only. But again, this is only in the interest of the nation and in the interest of that. Suppose if you are not doing it, means you cannot be prosecuted or anything. But ultimately, a day has come that where we have to realize that thing. Say, take for example, we have to go for an alternative source of energy, means definitely we have to go, because now that cars and other things are coming by using the electricity, because we also know that on one side there is an escalation of the diesel prices and the petroleum. On another side, there is an international pressure is mounting because of the Gulf War and because of the Ukraine, these things. And the third one, because of the command and control of the, what is this one, certain developed countries which are playing the big brother attitude. So in that case, have to go for our indigenous technology, which is more a renewable one, and this best available technology for a country like ours, which is a tropical one. We have to tap our own solar energy. That will be more effective. Number one, since India is covered 3/4 of the continent with the seashore, then we can go for the tidal energy. And most of the places we come across the, what is that, wind. Say, take for example in South India, even for Maharashtra also, you come across that is that where the places we got more wind, there you can install this, what is this one, wind energy. We can tap the wind energy. So by way of following our own thing, we can conserve lot of foreign exchange, plus the finite resources are going depleting it. With the result, the cost is escalating, together adding the international pressure by way of so many other socio-economic political factors. The day is indirectly compelling us to go for this one. You understand it? Even though it does not have that legal binding, but what is this one? But of course, legal binding is there. That is in a way. That is, we have given to the international community 2030, this much quantum of the greenhouse gases we will be reducing. 2050, this much. But again, by not doing so, you are not being prosecuted or you are not being punished. But legal binding, that legal binding is more an advisory sort of a binding. That is what I would like to state. Binding is also, to some extent, it is there.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, sir,
madam.
thank you so much.
Yes,
You
madam.
have given lots of example regarding that. Okay,
Yes.
sir, thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Am I audible, sir?
Yeah, 100% audible.
Sir, I want to ask, thank you, sir, for your enlightening lecture on sustainable development. Sir, I have one question. Sir, in Maharashtra, maybe morning is like your morning 3-5 in Maharashtra. But still, we see that it is neglected by the government because there is no proper maintenance.
See, your voice is breaking. Your voice is breaking. Your voice is very much breaking.
Now,
Yeah.
Now I'm
breaking.
Am I audible?
You are audible, but voice is breaking. That is, it is not coming in a continuous way. I think that there will be a signal problem. I think so.
Yes,
or maybe you are talking from your mobile.
Yes, sir. I will write question, sir.
Yes, sir. Please, sir.
Put your question in chat box, sir. If your voice is breaking.
Yeah. Okay. Then I have to reduce it. Put it in the chat box. Thank you, sir. Yeah, you put it in the chat box. Put it in the chat box, no problem. I'm just seeing it. Nice lecture. Thanks for your fruitful session. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Very nice session. Thank you, sir. Like that, they have put it. Roll number 57, be ready to present vote of thanks. Roll number 57, nice to informative session. You have given a very good feedback. I am very, very happy. But unfortunately, I don't know. Tomorrow, I will be taking that laptop and ask my friend why this what is this one? This camera is, and unfortunately, you are not seeing my face. You have seen my face?
No, sir.
What can I do? That is what tomorrow I will be taking. I just telephoned that fellow. That fellow is not picking up the phone. I don't know whether the camera is partly or this one. I don't know. So with the result 3/4, it is like an eclipse. Eclipse.
Yes.
So yeah, it is my face is being eclipsed for want of, I don't know why. You don't want to see my face. So what is this one? Because I wanted to stop it at exactly 2 o'clock, because number one, 3-hour session will be a long session for you also. And it started from 10 to 1. 1 to 2 is more ideal for the lunch break. You are going for the lunch break. Then again, you are coming 3 to 6. And continuously hearing the 3 hours lecture will be a definitely why it is being, we know that boring. Why this assignment is being given means it will be a sort of knowing how far our students will be feeling boring when we take more than 1 hour.
If no
No, sir,
one
we
asks
can't
it,
feel boring, sir.
Yes, madam.
We can't feel boring, sir. It's your very interesting lecture, sir.
Yeah, had it been in the offline, it would have been more interesting for you, because I told you that is, see, for example, you would have enjoyed the South Indian pronunciation. See, that when a foreigner is pronouncing, where do you want me to go for this one? No, it's not possible. Like that, the white man will talk. Whereas the black man, where do you want to go? It is not possible for me to do. So we South Indians, our pronunciation will be like both blacks. Black man's pronunciation, Negro. That is more stress for our syllable. That one, if it is an offline, means we can crack certain jokes. And
sir, your language was very lucid and clear, sir.
Okay. But still, it will not be unlike the, what is this one? Your Hindi or Maharashtra. Our language will be a little bit tough one. You see that more articulation will be there.
Yes.
Oh, somebody.
But dialects are different to the region to region, sir.
Somebody has said funny. Number 7.
Atul sir.
Yes, madam. It is the duty to protect the monument like a forts according to the Article 49 actually, but still many monuments are neglected by the government. That again, see, this is what I told you in the beginning itself. That is, since it is being recorded, I don't want to talk what are the present day constraints and what are all the present day the interference by the politics, then our ineffective what is that that bureaucratic system. All these things are complementing and supplementing with each other. So the government is making all the efforts to implement that law, but still 100% it is a little bit difficult in a developing country like ours. I can give you so much of answer for that one, but unfortunately, this is being recorded. We cannot go beyond that limit. Why that being neglected by the government means you want me to talk against the government, or what are all the constraints the government is facing it. So you are putting it in a very, what is this one, this delicate situation. Don't mistake me.
Atul sir, please present.
Which one, sir?
Yes, sir. Am I audible?
Huh?
Yes, sir, you are audible. Continue.
Yeah. Yeah, that is what I told you, that we are having a lot of practical problems are there in the process of implementing, in the process of enforcing our laws. So those practical problems, I cannot be able to enlighten it in this, what is this one, in this debate or the discussion. So, of course, you will also be knowing what are all the practical problems you are encountering it. But still, with all the practical hurdles, we could be able to enforce it to this much level. And we are in the process of, in the development or in the progressive way. We must, what I can say, we must appreciate that one. That is, instead of saying the thorns in the with the roses, see there are roses with among the thorns. So you are saying the positive approach rather than the negative approach. So I don't say that, sir, you can put me a question, sir, we are having the Water Act, Air Act, AP Act and all, but still this water body is polluted, air pollution is this much, and during that time of winter season, so much amount of the pollution at the Delhi area, the flights cannot be able to handle. The Supreme Court is giving a lot of directions, and they can close down the schools for 1 month, delaying that opening. All these questions you will be asking it. But again, there are a lot of practical constraints are there. What is this agricultural waste are being burnt, and how much amount of the air pollution they are causing, why the government cannot be able to take action like that. These are all the practical problems, and these practical problems in the virtual mode and cannot be discussed also. You understand my thing? You understand this thing?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We understood.
That is what I am telling you. That's what I told your head of the department also. Yes, sir. Somebody has said, that is number 3 has concurred with my opinion. Yes, sir. If it is a one-to-one means, then you will also be knowing that answer. Then you will be asking until number of the problems in your area, sir, this is the law is there, so High Court is there, Supreme Court is there, NGT bench is available at Pune in the Maharashtra state, NGT Southern bench is in your state, Tamil Nadu. But what sort of things, if you put me in that embarrassing situation, then I will be in shooting in the trouble.
Shall I continue to vote of thanks?
Yes, sir. If your coordinator says means, then you can give it. And I have stopped for 5 to 10 minutes. I wanted to give for the discussion. I stopped around 1:55. Now the time is 2:06. Then because you have to go for the lunch also. then you can give, it is one of the formality and the protocol to be followed, and you are giving that vote of thanks. Then I will also give my own thanks
Okay, sir.
after you give it.
Okay. So, good afternoon to all of you. On behalf of UGC-MMTC, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar, myself, Mr. Atul Prakash Naikwade, Assistant Professor, Sri Vasantrao Naik Mahavidyalaya Dharani, Amravati from Maharashtra. My roll number is 57. I am here for vote of thanks for today's morning session. I would like to thank today's guest talk is delivered by Professor Dr. S. Ganapathy Venkat Subramanian, Professor, Anna University, Chennai. Sir has delivered lecture on topic environmental legislation in India. Sir also told importance of law. Ignorance of law is no excuse. Law subject is a part of life. That's why the Supreme Court is one judgment for the academic curricular to environmental sciences subject is compulsory. Sir says 3 eyes on this environmental management is education, engineering and technology and enforcement. So many more acts are being useful for the environmental management. So I would like to thank to sir, and I will also thankful to coordinator of this course, Dr. N.N. Bandela sir. I will also like to thankful to director.
Audio is breaking. Hello? Audio is breaking. Audio stopped. Yeah. So anyhow, that is because of the paucity of the time. I will also take 1 to 2. Are you able to hear my voice?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are audible to us.
Yes. So,
Yes, sir.
And it is the formality and it is the custom and it is the protocol which is being followed in our society or in our system. I would like to also record my sincere thanks to the director, HRDC, for extending this invitation to deliver the talk with the HRDC participants. That is what is this one? 3 weeks program participants. I would also like to record my sincere thanks to the professor and head of the department, Dr. Bandela, for having extended this invitation. And I hope that I have fulfilled and extended my cooperation and that lecture to the expected level. Third one, I would like to thank the participants who were continuously hearing. Hope so. That is for the 3 hours. And of course, we had a good amount of an interaction also. And I have structured my lecture in such a, because this is a law is a bottomless pit. And you wanted to deliver it within 3 hours means it is humanly impossible. But I have tailored in such a way, just for a first 5 to 10 minutes, sensitizing yourself the importance of law. Then after that, another 10 to 15 minutes for sensitizing the importance of environmental law. Then after that, what are the sensitizing and importance of international pressure or international importance of enacting this environmental legislations. Then coming to that domestic legal regime, what are all the constitutional provisions? Then into the domestic regime, what are all the various acts enacted by the parliament? Then what are all the rules and regulations enacted by the executives? Then what is the goal of our environmental law? What is the thing to be achieved? Like that, I have structured my lecture within that 3 hours. I know that it is not justifiable. Definitely, you also know, being the teacher, within 3 hours, it is impossible. But anyhow, and in future, if you are having any offline mode of meeting, are calling for any talk, and if you ask me to come for 1 week and give the training to your undergraduate or a postgraduate students on the topic of environmental impact assessment and the environmental legislations, definitely offline mode I can come over, subject to that availability of time, and then do to the best of my ability. Already I have given to the NIT Mizoram, NIT, at what is this one, Nagaland, like that several places, because I am occupying the post of a vice chairman and the expert member in the Environmental Impact Assessment Authority. I can talk to you, discuss with you what are all the practical problems we are encountering, number one. Then number two, what is the importance of environmental impact assessment, and what are the career opportunities available in the environmental field after completing your UG program and PG program, like what type of the consultancy we can do it. After the consultancy, how you can get the clearance for your proponent in the government, that is from the authority, from the committee and all. That process also I will be enlightening. Just 3 days, 4 days program, when we organize it every day 3 hours, that is more than sufficient, because 6 hours is humanly impossible. 3 hours Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, like that, maximum 10 to 15 hours we can completely take. Let us wait, and you all know my email ID, HELLO, hello SGVS, my mobile number also, I will just type it.
Okay, thank you.
This is my mail ID, and my mobile number is 9444 50 60 70. This is my mobile number. You can just note it down. You are always welcome to correspond me through mail, and this is my WhatsApp number. Any questions, doubts, clarifications, you are most welcome. By way of introducing yourself, sir, I had the opportunity of attending your lecture on such and such date through the online mode.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, madam.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
All of them from Maharashtra state or from the other states are also there?
Participants are from all the states.
All the states, including
Yes.
including the Gujarati, Karnataka, and all.
Kolkata, Haryana, Rajasthan.
Oh, okay. So virtually we are interconnecting the various states. Tomorrow,
Yes, sir, definitely.
Yeah, tomorrow my first duty is take that. It's a recently purchased laptop, 6 months old only. Since that my face is not coming,
Okay.
I felt very much that such a handsome face, you didn't have the opportunity of seeing it.
Definitely.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah,
so
madam
much.
is laughing, sir. Don't self-declare it that your face is handsome. We have to certify it. So you yourself is certifying that such an handsome face I have not been given opportunity to see it, sir. So we must say that that opportunity was not given, sir. Like that, madam is laughing, and that laughing is I could able to interpret it. Am I correct, madam?
Yes, sir, definitely.
Thank you.
We need this opportunity to see your face.
Tomorrow I will do, my first duty is to take this laptop and find out what is that problem in that camera. Yeah, that will be my first agenda. Okay, shall we close it?
Thank you so much.
Okay,
Thank you so much. Convey my regards and respects to Badela sir also.
Definitely, sir.
Thank you so much.
Okay, sir.